to mute in 3, 2, 1, go.
Pulsing out from the transmitter tower into the tubes and coils behind your radio dial, it's like a welcome knock on the door and the sound of the familiar voice of an old friend.
Audio.
Synchronicity.
Life.
You really mean that? Yes.
Monsters exist.
Yes. Yes, always.
I didn't ask for this!
America's favorite breakfast-themed superhero, Waffle Man.
Your friend. This is a lot of shit, you know.
Hey, fire your contract.
Such pests.
I'm ready now. Roll the camera.
Now, what is it you want? In your depths of your ignorance, what is it you want?
You are now synchronized.
Hello, people of the internet. I am Andres Perez, aka Kaiju Noir, and welcome to the slightly rebooted, revamped, re-energized edition of Audio Synchronicity Live. And of course, as always, I'm here with my dearly beloved co-host, Mr. Brayton Connor of Brands and Films.
Yes, and I'm back in black. I hit the sack. I've been too long, but I'm glad to be back.
That's pretty
let
whack.
Loose from the noose. It's got me hanging about. I'm not going to do the whole song because, copyright. But I'm back. Yes, hello, everybody. How you doing? It's wonderful to be back here on the Kaiju Noir channel for Audio Synchronicity.
Indeed.
Live.
It's been a while since we've done one of these shows. It's like, I did want to get into that. I do apologize, people. The last time we made this on Audio Synchronicity was right before G-Fest. It was on the eve of G-Fest. And ever since then...
And unfortunately, we didn't make it back. So we're ghosts now.
Right. we did end up walking into that refrigerator and that freezer in the sky.
We just went downstairs, started hearing Midnight, the Stars, and You. And then J.D. Lee's told us that we've always been there, and we danced in the dance hall, and now we're ghosts in the freezer.
And so afterwards, we took a break. We were busy doing our own things too, or I guess I would say that I was definitely busy doing a lot of things. G-Fest overall was a huge success. I ended up selling out all copies of Draco Azul.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I started to kick things into high gear. I put a lot of my focus and attention on Draco Azul, as well as other projects that I'd like to get into. It's been an interesting process, like afterwards, just getting Draco Azul in. My main goal was to make Draco Azul as conveniently available as possible, mainly via Amazon. And given Amazon, there's like three options. There's, of course, Kindle, which was the easiest one to do. Comixology, which was the longest one to do because I had to wait 4 months for it to get approved and added to the store, which it is now available as of last week. And the most difficult one was getting physical copies of the comic available through Amazon. And there's like a lot of hurdles to overcome. And so... to answer a few questions, Jordan Fazand, I remember I checked last time.
Fazand!
Yes, you are on time. Cody, thank you very much for the very kind comment. Thank you very much, Sean Berry.
And thank you for the 1,000,000 points, Cody Brash, for my ACDC reference. If that's how you feel, I'll keep making them. 1,000,000 points to Gryffindor. That's me.
So Atomic Dragon says, where can I find Primal Warrior Draco Azul? I'm glad you asked, so let me pull this up right here.
Then I'll whip this out for you.
There we go. So now you can check it out. The Amazon page on Amazon, you can get it. Now, at the request of yours truly, I requested Comixology to add this option on the Amazon page, so you can actually get the Comixology and Kindle versions together for the price of one. So if you get the Kindle version, you can access it on both the Kindle app and the Comixology app. I had to do some research because apparently nobody I knew who had published a comic on Comixology had ever looked into this option. So this was like a first for me. Looking into, and that was the whole thing. A lot of this, like, looking into Goji Lion 91 said, "Hello, Kaiji Noir. Hello to you." Jordan Fazan said, "Oh, thank God." Oh God. So yeah, I had to do a lot of research. Let's see, are people enjoying the comment, Andres? Which comment? I don't know what you're referring to. Sorry, Jordan. But yeah, a lot of this, like, I had to look into a lot of stuff in order to see how can I make my comic as conveniently available as possible. And so, I had to look into how to do things on Kindle. I had to look into how to do things on Comixology. I had to look into how to get Comixology and Kindle to get the bundle option together on Amazon. It was a first for me going through all of this stuff. And the most difficult one was making the physical version of the comic available. Oh, are people enjoying the comic? Absolutely, Jordan. As you can see by the quite high rating on the Amazon page, which, if you have read the comic and you would like to leave your opinion please rate the comic, share your feelings, and if you're so kindly, please share spread the news and share the comic.
Yes, spread the good word of Draco Azul to all
Indeed.
your friends.
So looking into things, I found out that there was an option for Amazon to print your own books. And so I tried doing that, trying to get Amazon to print my comics for like a little print-on-demand system. Unfortunately, it's a huge pain in the ass to get Amazon to print any sort of book because there's always going to be some weird screw-up on the formatting. So even if though you have everything perfect, it's always going to skew everything to the left or to the right or to the upper right-hand corner or something like that. So again, it was like a lot of trial and error until I realized, they're going to reject my comic either way, because apparently characters that pop out of are drawn outside of the panels, that would be considered a printing error. So this was a system that was clearly not made for comics, and so I gave up on that venture and decided I'm going to become a third-party Amazon seller, print my own comics, since that is far more easier for me, since I just did that for G-Fest, and I'm going to sell my own comics on Amazon. And then that's when I learned there was another obstacle I had to overcome, and that is I had to get an ISBN number and a barcode for my comic.
Oh my God.
So that's another thing I had to look into, where I had to research and find out the best means of getting ISBN number and a barcode. Because if you look at the back of every book you own, whether it's a novel or a comic, or heck, a manuscript or a manual, whatever, you notice that there is an ISBN number and barcode on every single one of them. So once I was able to register my get an ISBN number, get a barcode, register both of them to my comic and my comic alone, then I was able to print a new batch of comics with the barcode on the back of the comic. And so those versions are currently getting printed right now, and eventually they'll be arriving at my family's house in California. So then once that's ready, I can put a listing for that on Amazon, and finally I can actually get it, I can start selling physical copies on Amazon to everyone. So that way I'll have the physical copies and the digital copies on both the Kindle and Comixology version on Amazon for everyone to order. And yeah, that has been like the journey so far since G-Fest, just looking into a whole lot of stuff, asking as many people for advice on these sorts of things, and while looking into things on my own in certain cases.
Yeah.
And all this just to make sure you, the audience, can have can have the easiest time finding my comic, buying it, and hopefully enjoying it.
Yeah, that is a lot to jump into. So yeah, that would be. I'd imagine it kind of overwhelming. So you've been busy.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That's mainly where a lot of my time has been going into. Besides YouTube, I feel like I still want to make YouTube videos, but there's always that part of me that feels like this may be a transitionary period where it's like time where I'm putting more of my efforts into these sort of creative ventures that
mhm.
I found a much higher passion for.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just hope that at the end of the day, people just enjoy what I am doing and would continue to follow me in whether as a writer or as an editor or as a content creator on YouTube.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good thing and healthy for your creativity. Finding things that you're passionate about and really enjoy doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Especially since like next year, I'm planning on moving back to America to get
mm,
started on my writing and editing career. And yeah, I feel like again that's definitely going to be like the next huge chapter of my life. And it's like
yeah.
doing all this comic stuff has been like great experience for me to let people know, hey, I'm someone who has self-published my own comic, and I did all of this all on my
My
own.
own.
Yeah. Let's see. Looking at the comments here, Michael Jackson Helm says, congrats, Kaiju Noir. I plan to get your comic after I save up some money. Thank you very much. Atomic Dragon 1954 says, is Primal Warrior Draco Azul influenced by Ultraman or Pacific Rim? Definitely both. Both, but I would say Pacific Rim was like, that was the thing that sparked that creativity, saying if Del Toro can make a big giant love letter to giant robots, then so can I. So like that
Mhm.
was the thing that initially sparked my interest. Like Pacific Rim, 70s super robot anime, Robot God Akumatsu, which is another giant robot indie comic by my friends Frankie B. Washington and James Biggie, Godzilla, and Gundam. Okay, OBS Studio reconnection successful. Okay, so it looks okay. Jordan says, "Oh, it's freezing." So, as of the moment, it says OBS Studio reconnection successful. So I do want to know: Can anyone still hear us? I'll wait for your response.
I'm on the stream now. I can hear us.
Okay.
All right.
Reconnection successful.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks.
Yeah, it looks like it connected back for me anyway.
Okay, then that's good then. Let's see. So I guess we're gonna wait for other commenters. In the meantime, listening to the or not listening, but reading comments here. So, Enshoma says it's a new audio synchronicity starring those lovable scamps and degenerate counterfeit gene
Ah.
makers. What?
Is that a Tommy Wiseau reference? Wasn't he like a
Yeah,
jacket manufacturer or a jean maker, something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
He sold like the defective products in China that the brand companies didn't want to sell.
Right.
Jordan says, I love 200s, but I'm broke. I understand. I knew it was hard getting your stuff out there, but god damn. Indeed, Cody, indeed.
Gundam. Yeah.
Gundam. Let's see. Everyone says they can hear us. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Atomic Dragon says, is Primal Warrior Draco Azul? Oh, no, I already read that. Oh, he posted that twice. Shout out to OmniViewer. Yes, OmniViewer made a great review of my comic. Go check that out if you want to get a general idea of what my comic is all about. Let's see. How can I make an atomic kaiju book that does not rip off Godzilla? I don't know. Just do whatever you feel like doing, man. Because there's no shame in making your comic like Godzilla. I mean, look at all of my friends' comics: Durantis, The Lost Serpent, Night of the Fire Beast, Kadoja, Arrakis, Mirror Image, Atomic Rex. So that's not so much that's not so much a comic, but a novel. But all my friends have done their own take on Godzilla. I mean, Godzilla himself is sort of a rehashed idea.
Everything's a rehash at this point. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you just gotta do it. make you just got don't worry so much about that
Right,
because
yeah.
it's everything's been done in one way or another. So just tell your story.
Just make sure you have an interesting hook. Just like if
Yeah.
I can summarize my story in like one sentence to pitch to someone, then you got something. Like for me, it's like Primal Warrior Draco Azul. Imagine Pacific Rim in Mexico. Bam.
There you go. You
Or
got the picture.
yeah, you got it. Or like a Mexican Mazinger Z, you know? Mexzinger.
Ah. Yeah.
Let's see. Cody says, I may end up buying a physical copy when it's available. The Kindle format hasn't been working for me, just not feeling it. Maybe the Comixology version would be better, Cody. Sorry, yeah, you would probably, because you bought the Kindle before the Kindle Comixology combo was available. I don't know if it's available now because you bought it previously, or if you're gonna have to double dip for that. Either way, maybe the Comixology version, or maybe I don't know. Maybe you're just maybe it's just the digital format as a whole. Maybe you're just not feeling it. I don't know. I'm not you, so I cannot judge. Sean Berry says, no joke, G-Fest and your comic were great stress relievers during stressful times on my part. I'm very glad to hear that, man. Crooked says, I'm doing the same on my own channel, actually. Yes! Always. You're definitely been, I know exactly what you've been up to, and I do want to get into that, Crooked, as well. After I read these comments. Let's see. Cody says, you totally should, Andres. I think you have what it takes, man. Oh, in terms of, like, pursuing my writing career. Thank you very much, Cody. And same to you. I've read your story, which, again, is another thing I'll get into. Cody says, don't lie, Andres. Are you running from the constant kaiju attacks? You're running from the constant kaiju attacks in Japan, aren't you?
Yeah, couldn't you hear the Toho ambulance sound effect outside of his home?
Right, just now. Jordan says, and Draco Azul still looks cool as hell. Thank you. Let's see, and then now all the comments are talking about that. Jordan says, Nagare. Yes! Nagare is another shameless, Godzilla homage project by my good friend Garayan. And that is an idea. The hook for that is, this is more like a very over-the-top anime-esque take on Godzilla. That's not the anime trilogy, but like what you would normally think of when you think of kaiju anime. It's it's big, it's over the top. It's also like it's got a bit of like a cosmic overtone to the whole story as well. So it's like there's like the regular story, and then there's this sort of like metatextual cosmic stuff that's happening in the background that Grimes told me about. It's like crazy, man.
Wow.
He's a cool dude. Titan of Serpent says, you can inspiration from other theropod dinosaurs? I guess he meant you can take inspiration from theropod dinosaurs. Yeah, there's not a lot of theropod long-necked dinosaur monsters out there, so that's one to make. That can make your monster more unique. I mean, look at Durantis. God's Wrath is sort of like Godzilla if Godzilla was about gender-bent mythological figures. Hey, you do you, man. Cody says, so what you're saying is I can rehash their rehash based on Toho's rehash. Yes! Always.
Sometimes. Always.
Sometimes. Maybe. I think Jordan just made a Beast Wars reference. Tell your tale to those who ask, and tell it truthfully, bad things, along with the good, and let it be judged accordingly. The rest is silence.
God, that's intense.
Let's see. Titan of Serpents. Cody, you can take inspiration from other theropod dinosaurs, okay? Sean Berry says, definitely go through with your writing career, man. I'm currently back to working on a future project in the form of a review website. Awesome. And Shoma says, Baragon breaks Andres out of jail, then Andres eats pizza with Mad Mike, and later goes on a date with pit aliens, Masters of Ella King. Oh, Japan is so crazy. You know what? That's a funny thing. If there's one thing I can take away from my experience in Japan is that I don't think Japan is crazy, like the wacky, super zany, crazy idea, like place that people tend to imagine Japan being. Like you would see some like clickbaity article about some weird shit going on in only one part of Japan, and people would go like, "Oh, Japan." But really, looking at Japan, it's like a large part of it is like convenience, and another huge part of it is sadness.
You
It's
think there's a lot of bottled up like craziness, like a lot of suppressed craziness deep down
I
within
think
everybody in Japan?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of suppression going on in Japan,
Uh-huh.
and the sort of wacky, crazy things you see coming out of Japan. That's sort of like their suppression, them trying to pour out, express the things that they have been that have been suppressed so much into these like sort of creative ideas, be it manga or anime or light novels or whatever. Um, it's like yeah, it's sort of like yeah, just a lot of like social pressures, social anxiety, deteriorating mental health, deteriorating society, deteriorating economic situation, lowering population. There's like a whole lot of problems going on in Japan right now. A lot of
Boy, it
serious,
sounds like a wonderland.
yeah.
Embrace of fun and excitement.
The thing is, yeah, that's the thing. It's like there's a lot of issues going on in Japan right now. A lot of not social and economic issues,
Yeah.
and a lot of suppression. Again, creative suppression. A lot of suppression in terms of like how people can act or behave or make life choices, and so like a lot of people, very few of these people are able to kind of escape that by being able to express those feelings through media, or maybe some other places like but I guess mostly entertainment is the one I go to the most, given that I'm a person who studied entertainment. But yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's so wacky. Maybe it is, but that's living here. It's like I don't see Japan as that anymore. I think of it as a very fascinating place.
Yeah. You've been there how many years have you lived in Japan now?
It's
5 years, something like that?
almost 4 years, because I
4 years?
moved.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved in March of 2016. I'll be leaving around spring of 2020. So yeah, it'll be four
Okay.
years.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a very fascinating country because it's like there's a lot of issues in Japan, but the thing is their issues are so different from our issues,
Yeah.
where it's like they have the convenience to live a comfortable, healthy lifestyle, but a lot of the sort of expectations that society expects of you takes a huge toll on your mental well-being.
Yeah. Would you say it's like creatively stifling almost, like from a social is like is that looked down upon, people expressing their creativity through
Oh
different
yeah, just
art
expressing
and whatnot?
themselves. They're not allowed to be express themselves as individuals. I mean, there's this an English translation of a proverb in Japan, which is the nail that sticks out gets hammered back down.
Wow.
That should tell you everything about Japanese, like the Japanese group mentality, the collectivist mentality of Japan. And it's something I would never want to be a part of, and something that's sort of have made me feel all the more grateful for the sort of individualist mentality that America likes to promote.
Yeah.
Not just America, but being an American, growing up in America, that is it. That's what I like to. That's what I've gotten out of it. Just making me more grateful for the opportunity to be myself and be who I am, as opposed to letting society do that for me. I would say like a lot of problems in Japan are also present in America in terms of, like, again, expectations that having to live up to. But I feel like that is like intensified by 100 times in America.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, in Japan. Let's see. Cody says, Jesus Christ, and yet I still want to visit Japan at some points because reasons! Oh, yeah, of course. Like, Japan is, again, very convenient place. Great culture, great food, great people, very polite people. As much of the problem, as much as there issues, as many issues as Japan has, there is a lot to actually see and appreciate and fall in love with as well. It's that's why I call Japan so fascinating, because there's so much good and bad that's all interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, Sean, Japan is still a good place to visit, Cody. It's just not a flawless society. Oh no, it's not, man. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they don't know jack.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No society is flawless. There's just different variations and gradients of fucked upness. A lot of problems in every society.
Yeah, indeed. Let's see. And Shoma says, let me rephrase.
But they make them animes real good, don't they?
Yeah, they can make them cartoons.
Those cartoon pictures.
The picture shows.
With the big-breasted girls. With the things.
You get the things with the ladies and the things on the chest that does the bouncing and the...
that kids like so much.
Let's see. And Shoma says, let me rephrase my joke. Andres gets the hell out of Japan while Destroya and Hedora takes the bummer country down with them. Seriously, somberly, that is. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Der Alt Trekkie says, good morning from Germany. Guten Tag.
Oh. Guten Tag from Germany. Hello.
Shazam the Puss says, how can you tell if a Japanese person truly likes you or wants to be your friend and not just someone who's nice and polite, referring to the private face and public face thing? That is that's very difficult to tell, Joseph, because unless you know the language, that's what you need to know. You need to be like seriously adept at Japanese. You gotta be super fluent at it so that you can tell the difference between the private face and the public face thing. Because that's a thing that a lot of Japanese people are sort of raised into doing, where they put on that public face and then they'd be who they really are in private. Everyone, whether intentional or not, is putting on an act of some kind in Japan, and it's usually a polite act.
Sounds a lot like the Midwest. This isn't too different for us. I guess the weird sort of front-faced passive-aggressive kind of thing.
So to really it's really difficult to get past the public face. The facade. It's really hard to get past that and get to them if you want to know the person, like on a personal basis. You really need either they have to know good enough English or you have to know good enough Japanese. So one of you has to make the effort to get on each other's level in order to know them personally, get through that barrier, and reach out to them. That's the only way, really. I mean, that from my own experiences and experiences of others, I've come to learn.
How has your journey been like learning the Japanese language? Like from starting out, coming up with the idea that you wanted to do this, you wanted to make this move, and where you are now. How has that journey been? Sort of integrating into that language and doing that.
I would say it has mostly been there to help me improve my teaching with the adults and children alike, where it helps me provide a little bit of context. Like it helped me translate what I'm trying to say on a super basic level. This year, my Japanese Japanese language education has been very stifling, mainly because my attention has been more focused on these sort of creative ventures of mine, whether it's editing or comic writing or YouTube stuff. It's just that I've put so much focus into my passion projects that I barely had enough time to learn Japanese as well as other years. And my boss herself, she was my private tutor, and she has been also very busy with things going on with the company right now. And so it's both of us have been very busy, so we haven't been able to meet up as often. So it's unfortunately, my Japanese hasn't been improving as well. And it's sort of it's taken less of a priority, but I'm still trying to increase my vocabulary in terms of trying to get an easier time trying to do things on my own instead of less so relying on other people. So it's mainly been a means to an end, and sort of like become a means to an end. So it's like I would learn Japanese when I would really need it, such as recently when I started making prints of my own. I started making prints. I sold prints of my collab poster with Crooked Lores for his book God's Wrath for G-Fest. And so now this week I started learning how to ask for printing copies at a print shop to make more prints to sell my students and anyone interested. So yeah, it's sort of like that whole like using Japanese as a tool, less so to use it for actual like to make meaningful connections, unfortunately. So it's just been like a lack of time and more like focus on other things. Mm-hmm. And yes, Crooked, Japan is real.
Well, at least that mystery has finally been unearthed. We know that.
Let's see. S452 had a comment, but unfortunately he retracted it. Sean says, as someone who wants to teach abroad, I am helping some Japanese friends with learning English sort of prepare me. That's great, Sean. One thing that you definitely want to do for anyone who wants to talk to people whose Japanese is not so well is to use a simpler, slower version of English in order for them to better understand Americans, because we talk so fast that we often link our words together. So it's like they have a very difficult time listening to English at native speed. So that's a thing. Yeah, you definitely want to be clear. You want to be very clear. You want to be, very straightforward, to the point. No idioms, no slang, no phrases. Just keep things at a level where they can understand you. It's very funny because people that I would meet now say, "Oh, I can see that you're an English teacher because I can understand you way better than any other American." And I'm like, "Really? I'm not even trying at this point." It's almost become second nature when talking to them.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, that I think that applies to most languages and stuff, because when I was taking French and we actually had a French person come in and they were speaking French, I was like, whoa, hold on.
Oh yeah.
So can you cut that down about 50%?
Right.
Speak like a
That's a funny thing. So I sort of try my best to simplify my English, talk slower, and talk more clearly to talk to them. But when they try to speak Japanese to me, they never do the same. So it's like,
okay.
I don't blame them again. This is something that's sort of like a learned skill.
Oh yeah, because it's natural to just talk how you talk,
Right.
Speaking fast and linking words together and using slang and whatnot. It's difficult.
Right. Cody himself said, say going to instead of gonna. Exactly. They don't know gonna. They don't know wanna. They don't know howda. They don't know coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Andres, are you beat rapping? What is this?
Let's see. The S4.
You need me to drop a beat behind that? You just keep going.
See, you gotta drop the coulda, the woulda, the shoulda, the howda, the hafta, the woulda. S452 says, greetings guys, congratulations Andres on your Draco Azul comic. Oh yeah, I forgot that's still up there. Let's see. Also, will you be selling more issues at next year's G-Fest, as I know some friends I met at other cons who would be interested? Yes, S452. I will be selling more copies. Hopefully, God willing, that I get another table at G-Fest next year. I know this year I was able to share I was able to share a table with Denny Roth and Daniel Ryan. And so this time I'm going to see if I can get a table all for myself where I'll be selling my comic and a few more mini posters as well. So yes, I will definitely do my best, do my damnedest to be able to get a table there. Let's see. And Choma says, no slang? That's whack, bro. Smack my bottom and cover me in honey. Job, turkey.
No and no, Raph.
Let's see. S452 says, I wish there was an edit comment option for these live chats. Curse my mediocre grammar skills. I know how you feel, man. Crooked Lore Production. I know. I'm so used to like Discord being able to like go in and edit your old posts or comments, but you can't do that at all for like Facebook Messenger. And it's like, ah, shit. Let's see.
That's why you gotta put the asterisk second message with an asterisk with your corrections.
Yep. Let's see. Shazam Joseph says, have you ever accidentally walked into a red light district? I have no idea what that is, Joseph. Cody says, I won the table all myself, damn it! It's not so much...
I'm brought it from home. It's mine.
It's not so much me wanting a table to myself. It's that Denny won't share a table with me anymore.
Oh God, you've angered the Squatch, Andres. Is this what this is?
He's like, listen, Andres, you got to get your own table next time. I can't deal with this shit anymore. Yeah. Oh, so speaking of the comics, so I've had this here long enough. So one thing I want to bring up was along with talking about working on my comic, another thing I've been working on is freelance editing, and so as you know, recently so as you know, last year I worked on a novel called God's Wrath, Tournament of the Divine. Here is the cover right here, written by Crooked Lore Productions, who is in the chat right now. Great book, definitely check it out. It's on Amazon right now on Kindle. Physical copy coming soon. The publisher of God's Wrath is Wild Hunt Press, and Wild Hunt Press is a brand new indie publishing company, and they are graciously, the guy behind it, Chris, has graciously taken up Will's book. Chris is very open to getting all kinds of new writers regardless of how much experience they have. And so in the case of God's Wrath, I was the editor for this book, and they are working on several more projects as well. And so I decided to join Wild Hunt Press as a freelance editor. Well, not so much like part-time freelance editor. And so this past month, I've been working on their first of many anthologies, Duel of the Monsters Volume 1, which is a collection of stories that is just that pairs up a bunch of monsters, creeps and ghouls and cryptids all fighting each other and matched up in matchups, and each one written by a different individual. And so I was able to be an editor for all 11 of these stories. And so hopefully the book will be out by, I want to say, by the end of October, because I feel like this is a book that was made for the Halloween season. Mm-hmm. And so, this is I spent a lot of time focusing on this, and it was very interesting looking at people's various writing skills and combing through them, doing my best to clean up these books as best as I can, as I did with Will's book.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that cover. It reminds me of the old oh God, what were they called? Oh, there was a line of books about written for kids, but with really fascinating covers about monsters that I used to get when I was a kid. But yeah, I love the illustration here.
And if you like the illustration, you'll love the illustrations for each of the individual stories have their own illustrations, which I think
nice.
Did I share with you before? Maybe not, but I don't think I'm allowed to share them here publicly yet. Yeah. But I will share them with you, Brain, afterwards. But yeah, a lot of these stories are great. We got Matt Denny in here. His story was definitely one of my favorites. I won't spoil what it's about, but I will say if you're a fan of Harryhausen, you'll love that story.
Ooh, neat.
Let's see here. Cody says, there's one writer on it I don't like, though. He's kind of silly. That's his name on the top of the authors listed on the cover.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah.
This fucker right here. Let's see. Another project that I've been working on is the second volume of Garayan's comic, which is Nagare, Kingdom of the Monsters, Volume 2, or also known by its alternate title, Nagare Against the Terror of the Moon. So last year I worked on the first novel, not the first volume of Garayan's Nagorayar comic. Earlier we were talking about making your own Godzilla-esque character, comic or project without so much as making a ripoff. And this is a pure example of that. Just taking what you love and see what sort of new spin on it you can do. Even if it's not a new spin on it, just doing your own thing with the stuff that you like. And here you got monsters, we got robot, we got mechs, we got hot babes, we got anime, the flashy, that anime flair all to it. Crooked says, but this anthology have fan service like my book does. No, it doesn't, and that's why people should get your book, Crooked Lore. But yeah, as for Nagorayar, I'm currently working on that right now, and it itself is getting a release also in October, I believe. Let me check the release date, because we're coming down to the wire here. Let's see here. Here we go. October 19th is our tentative release schedule for Nagorayar Volume 2, and this is going to be the second and final volume of the Nagorayar story that Garayan has been making since 2016, I believe. It's very interesting. I've been talking to him, and he's like, this sort of idea initially started with a monster named Garayan, which had, the same name as his pen name, and Nagorayar ended up sort of, and what was it? Garayan ended up evolving into Nagorayar, and then like the concept and the characters slowly changed over time until he got the 2016 version, and it wasn't until 2018 that he finally published it. And now he's able to finish this sort of 3-4 year journey for his book, and he will continue the story in other projects, such as the Daikaiju Daikasen RPG game that he was also making for a while. So this guy has got like this sort of idea that sprawls through multiple projects, and so he's sort of wrapping up one project and then having it continue in a very different project in a very different form. And so it's been very, very it's been a lot of fun being able to work on this project, and it's also, again, very good training for me as an editor. Whereas I'm not working on like a native speaker's English, but rather working on someone whose English was used as a second language and trying to bring it up to a something that sounds natural for a native speaker. And I think I've had enough I like to thank my experience as an English teacher, which has gotten me, it's helped me become more aware of what is and what isn't natural sounding from an English speaker's perspective. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, what sounds more casual? What sounds more professional? What sounds more silly? What sounds more serious? These are all the things that I'm always like, now that I'm thinking about whenever I'm reading stories, whether it's God's Wrath, Duel of the Monsters, or Nagorayar. Mm-hmm. And so you can check out Nagorayar Volume 1 on K Productions website, which I don't have a screenshot here, but I will get into that. I'll look for it right now. Let's see here.
Just put up an image of like Special K, like the cereal. Just go to that. Go to your local grocery store, get a box of Special K cereal. That's where you can find it.
Let's see. I'm not sure if the link will work, because I know like YouTube has had a shaky history with that, but there is the link to K Productions. It is a Thai website, because Garayan and his publishing company / toy company, not his company, but the company he works for, is based in Thailand. So you'll have to pay, I think, an extra $15, I believe, for shipping, international shipping. But the book itself is about $25, so that's like an extra $10 or so for the shipping. So yeah, you can check that out. This was my very first I think this was the very first book I had I worked on as an editor, maybe right before or right after Crooked Lore's book. Yeah, it's so yeah, I'm very curious to know what people think about it as well. Let's see. Looking at the comments here, people talking about the book itself. Let's see. Martin says, "Will you have Duel of the Monsters and Nagare at G-Fest?" I'm not sure, Martin. That's a very good idea. I can talk to Garayan or Chris and say, "Hey, would you like me to sell your books and I'll send you the profits afterwards?" That's a good idea. I could potentially do that. Let's see. Um, and Cody says it's hard to say when Duel of the Monsters will be out. There's been several delays, partially waiting on the interior art. Yeah, that's true. Duel of the Monsters is what has taken a while, along with other Wild Hunt Press's other projects, and that's why I decided to join to help them not only get experience for myself, but also help speed things along in any way I can. Let's see then. And the other last project, of course, is the sequel to God's Wrath, which is, God's Wrath, Tournament of the Divine, Book 2, which I just did like a beta reading for the first draft of the novel. And so I've already sent my notes back to Crooked Lore, and he's going to be doing doing his rewrites and making the next draft for me to eventually work in, not as a beta reader but as as an editor. So that's will definitely be the next project once God's Wrath, once Nagorayar is finished. Yeah, so that's another huge thing, just getting more projects under my belt as a freelance editor, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a very I would say a very I would say it's a very invigorating experience, just getting more projects, more experience under my belt, more stuff to add to my resume, and just being able to like delve into the creative process of these wonderful projects.
Yeah, and keeping busy, just doing more stuff.
Indeed. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I did want to share all of that with you guys. Just let everyone know where I have been, and to this hopefully will give some context as to why the channel has been slow as of recently, and just kind of letting people know if you're interested in my other creative ventures outside of YouTube. You can definitely check out all of those projects. You can follow Wild Hunt Press on Facebook. You can follow me on Primal Warrior Draco Azul Facebook page. You can find my book on Amazon. You can find God's Wrath book on Amazon, and you can find the Nagorayar book on kproductions.co.th. Okay, so moving things along, I wanted to talk about a particular story. So, whenever we're not answering questions from the audience, Brayden and I would like to take a look at weird, crazy, wacky stories that may seem a bit strange to the average viewer. And what sort of a story could be stranger than the Area 51 raid?
The anti-raid, more like it. The most
Right.
disappointing rap party ever of poor internet memers. They stopped all of us, even though Naruto runs were attempted. That poor kid who went viral with his little run across the newsman there.
I would like to share this little bit of art, collab art that I worked with Steve Tao, aka Winter Gaia, aka Raptor Gear. Well, I love this meme so much I asked him to make a Draco Azul version of it, of how I'm pulling up to Area 51, how I'm leaving. And it's Draco Azul wearing armor based on Steve's character Gigaraptor, which was a concept we were playing around with, and now we finally have some decent concept art of. Just like him combining my mech combining with his mech, like Gridman style. Like his mech opens up into a bunch of pieces that then you get slapped onto Draco.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Let's see. Here's trying to see. So that way now I'm just moving my windows along so that I can have these. I can have a good look at the the chat while also reading the article, which is on Vox. So yeah, let's get into things. Storm Area 51 weekend had neither raids nor aliens, but it wasn't a bust. A meme sent thousands into the desert, and they
Hold on,
didn't...
stop right there.
Yeah.
Of all things to send a bunch of the millennials out into the desert, a single meme rose above the rest. Does this article go into where that came from? Because I'm totally out of the loop on most of this stuff.
Yes, it does go into that.
Oh, okay, good. Continue.
This first, just to let anyone who didn't know, this wasn't. This all started as a gag event on Facebook that wasn't taken seriously, and then people did take it seriously because the internet.
Yeah, it wasn't like someone scheduled a Facebook event and millions of people said they were going to be there.
Yeah,
and because I remember the memes from a G Fest. We just sat around on the last day looking at Area 51 memes. But yeah, some people actually got it up in their idea that they were going to go. Which I was expecting if they were serious enough to travel all the way out there to Nevada. Or is it Area 51's Nevada, right?
Nevada, yeah. It's right outside
Rachel,
David's
Nevada.
house.
Yeah.
I love Cody's comment. Did they go through the desert on a horse with no name?
La
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 la la la. To answer Jordan's question, what's the Azure Wars? The Azure Wars is a short story that Garayan and I are making, where it's just a short little collab, a mini comic featuring Draco, Azul, and Garayan's characters. There is a chance that it may show up in Volume 2 of Nagare as a bonus story, but we're not so sure right now because, again, not sure if we're going to have time to do all of that. But it is a thing that we've been planning for a while now, whenever he would have the time to draw it. I've already written out an outline for the story as well. Something very short, very simple, similar to like the Ultraman versus Kamen Rider short. Okay, so yeah, let's see here. A meme that sent thousands into the desert, and they didn't come back totally empty-handed. Let's see. Despite what I was promised by
they came back with alien memorabilia from like the little alien
the shops?
the little alien or whatever they call it, the little mom and pop shops out there.
Sean Barry, to quote Filthy Frank, "What are you doing with your life? This needs to stop now."
Yeah. You got to have like expectations versus reality of me coming back from Area 51. You have one image with an actual alien. You have another image with like alien bumper stickers and like a little alien baseball cap.
Despite what I was promised by the meme that inspired the trip, I did not see them aliens in the middle of nowhere, Nevada. Storm Area 51 weekend was the IRL outgrowth of a viral Facebook joke that implored all interested parties to storm Area 51. They can't stop all of us. But all I found were the offline remains of an online phenomenon. An ever-dwindling number of people who were committed enough to trek out to the Nevada desert, some 100 miles away from urbanity, spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday dithering around the near-empty towns of Rachel and Hiko. It was unclear if anyone was really in charge. Little was planned. 0 aliens were in attendance. But thankfully, no one tried to break into Area 51. Au contraire, Vox writer. Apparently 2 people got arrested. 2 YouTubers, actually.
My God. So, success? Storm Area 51 was a success.
In the town of Rachel, what came to be known as Alien Stock was designed as a festival for anyone who was so transfixed by a joke about raiding Area 51 that they were willing to gather in the desert to celebrate. But the event didn't live up to dreams set forth by its creator, 21-year-old Bakersfield, California native Matty Roberts, who had initially planned to turn his viral meme into a movement. In July, here's where we get into the origins of it. In July, Robert had created a fake Storm Area 51 event on Facebook. He was such a pest. Arbitrarily setting the date for September 20th after more than 2 million people RSVP'd and the FBI showed up at his house to investigate. tried to leverage his 15 minutes of internet fame, a gag about attacking a military facility in search of whatever the government might be hiding there, rapidly snowballed into plans for a music-filled weekend of EDM DJs playing against a backdrop of alien imagery. Robert spent the rest of the summer encouraging people to head out to Rachel, the town closest to Area 51, for live performances and a meeting of the meme minds. He called the event Alien Stock. Da, 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 da. No, it's like the weird, the sad accordion version. The drama ensued. Roberts bailed on his original plan.
Millennials, they move in herds. They do move in herds.
No, they do Naruto run in herds.
You son of a bitch, you did it.
The drama ensued. Roberts bailed on his original plan less than 2 weeks ahead of the time over security concerns due to the town's lack of amenities. But the town of Rachel trudged forward with its own version of Alien Stock, rechristened Alien Stock to avoid confusion and legal trouble. While Roberts converted his original vision to a more impersonal Thursday night dance party in downtown Las Vegas. Of course. The joke about finding aliens mostly manifested in overpriced alien t-shirts and some special edition Bud Light. Oh yeah, Bud Light became a sponsor for this event.
Oh god.
And little that spoke to the meme's original spirit. At one point, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department estimated that up to 30,000 people might travel to Rachel and Area 51 through the weekend. In the event, a spokesperson told Vox about 6,000 people made it out. Visitors weren't exactly met with open arms by Rachel's 54 residents. That is tiny. Who mostly wanted to be left alone. Leave me alone. But to many who drove out in RVs and pitched tents, Alien Stock was a successful experiment, a perfectly low-key way to send off the summer.
Oh my god, how annoying. Just imagine if you're one of those 54 people.
A bunch of memes.
You got all these
idiots.
smelly millennial memers out there in the desert with their dumb rubber alien crotch hats or whatever they got dancing around out there and their Pepe flags.
Screaming about clapping alien cheeks.
Oh my god. I would dress up as an alien with like some geared out laser equipped weapon or something just to freak them all out and make them go home.
Ultimately, Alien Stock came to function as so many spaces on the internet do, somewhere that people in a very narrow niche could convene and find community. To them, it didn't matter if Alien Stock was bereft of extraterrestrial life. Rachel, Nevada would always be the place where a particular combo of alien enthusiasts, anime fans, and meme lovers found each other. You see, it's about family, Brayton.
That's what's so powerful about it. Yes, I forgot. Thank you, Carrie Fisher. She was at Alien Stock too. Oh.
Yeah, she was hidden. She was hidden over in Area 51. That's what
she was a Force Ghost. That's where she is. They're working on Force Ghost technology there.
Like, help me, Maddie Roberts. You're my only hope.
That's the secret. That's what's really in Area 51. Just Kathleen Kennedy's many ideas and clones of bullshit Carrie Fisher spin-off movies.
And the thing is, no. I know what Kathleen Kennedy put in Area 51. She put all the rejected ideas from George Lucas.
Oh no!
all the ideas of exploring the midichlorian microverse.
Oh god, yeah.
For featuring the wills of the literal wills species aliens that like control the Force and manipulate the universe through the Force. All of that's all hidden away in a large crate in Area 51, like the ending of Indiana Jones.
They must never see this.
It's like you have George Lucas talking to Kathleen Kennedy. It's like, so what did you do with my treatments for the sequel trilogy? Oh, we got top men working on it. Who exactly? Top men.
Cut to J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson giggling in the corner,
throwing the ideas into the fire.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, in Choma, Admiral Akbar's corpse is housed at Area 51.
Oh god, that's the thing that upsets me most. I'm in a weird state with how I think about this whole endeavor because just what a horrible nuisance for the few people who actually do live there and have to put up with these idiots, every day.
How do
People
you-
going to Area
Yeah, how
51.
do you think about the actual guards people outside with a bunch of idiots?
Oh god,
Let's
yeah,
see. Let me bring up the image.
dancing and Narutoing and memeing with their newfangled internets.
There we go. Here's an image of the actual Thursday night or Thursday midnight, Wednesday, Thursday morning of the Area 51 event, where 75 people showed up roughly around 75 people showed up at the very front gate of Area 51 with a bunch of stupid costumes and billboards.
God.
Save ET from the government, clap alien cheeks. If you see a guy in a red bandana, I saw his live stream while it was happening.
Oh no. Were you expecting to see some bloodshed, Andres? That would have just made the whole night for me.
Oh no. These people, this is the exact thing. This is the epitome of internet culture right here. With everybody who talks a big game up. They're all talk, no action.
Overwrought flippancy too, because first off, just a person. I don't think any alien extraterrestrial shit is in Area 51. That's
mostly just experimental planes.
Yeah, I think first off, I don't think a bunch of millennial internet memers would be the one to stage an Ocean's 11 type infiltration into Area 51. But even if by some weird stroke of God or something, they got into Area 51 and they were really serious and they were actual serious, truth seekers instead of flippant meme boys.
Yeah.
I think people would be disappointed. I honestly do. I don't think it's worth the hype, and I don't think it's worth traveling out however thousands of miles out to a little town in Nevada, disrupting everyone's night.
Let's see. Kevin Dwyan says they had the band on the Mos Eisley band of the Mos Eisley Cantina there.
Oh god, no! They have all the Star Wars weirdo characters and bands there. They got that's where B. Arthur's corpse is. She's on ice.
Let's see. Sean Berry says, "What's actually inside Area 51? The Godzilla saga."
That will keep it there, please.
Yeah. Kevin Dwyan says they keep the remaining Shin Godzilla flesh in Area 51. No, I got you one better, Kevin. They're actually hiding the script for Shin Godzilla 2 in there.
Oh no!
It's oh no, can never make this. Let's see. So I get. Oh, you know what? I bet you what they got in Area 51. They got the missing Godzilla and Anguirus costumes that disappeared when they tried to ship it overseas to make the volcano monsters.
Oh, come on.
Let's see.
Bob Burns has been hiding those up his ass for 50 years. That's really everybody knows.
Costumes up my ass for 50 years.
I've lived a very uncomfortable life.
We must free Max Rebo from Area 51. I know the name. Who's Max Rebo?
He's the little blue elephant band guy from Jabba's band. Yeah, him and what's her name, Snoodles or whatever.
Okay.
They should have been at the Alien stock doing the music. That would have been awesome. Oh God, what is the CG animation that's escaped from that? No, that's what's in Area 51. All the special editions that didn't make the cut. All the little CGI characters jumping out the back. God, imagine if those are what the aliens looked like. Those were the cheeks that you wanted to clap, people.
It wasn't
these
the hot
disgusting abominations. No. Fucking Snoodles.
And what do you call it? What was she credited as? Fat Dancer?
Fat Dancer, yes. Anybody can go back, look at the Return of the Jedi credits at the end of the movie. She's just, you see all these imaginative alien names, and there's Fat Dancer right under that. How wonderful.
And Sean Berry says they're hiding colossal kaiju combat in Area 51. I would
Oh,
believe
no.
you, but that would mean that Simon actually finished it.
Ah.
Let's see what the rest of this article has to say. Whether Alien Stock was a success depends on whom you ask.
In a way.
From a certain point of view.
Yeah.
The town of Rachel is one of the only stops on a 160-mile stretch of highway that has 0 gas stations or rest stops. There are a few small homes and trailers and a single prominent business, but for the most part, Rachel is a large swath of dirt, with a view of the Tikaboo Valley Mountains in the distance. Alien Stock hardly changed that scenery. Entering Rachel at the start of Area 51 weekend, it was clear the event would not be a gigantic dance party in the desert. Yeah, this wasn't like, what's it called? Burning Man, I think?
Oh.
It wasn't that. Scattering across the open expanse of fenced-in dust were people of all ages, mostly men, mostly white, many of whom had set up their own outdoor activities to keep themselves occupied. 20-somethings threw hatchets at a haphazardly constructed wooden target. Okay. A group of friends...
Good for them.
A group of friends played a game that resembled oversized beer pong, replacing the cups with garbage cans and the ping pong ball with a basketball. I hope they don't have to drink. I hope they don't have to drink out of those garbage cans. As for whether beer was involved, I didn't notice any. But the beer of choice for the weekend, both at Robert's event in Vegas and at Alien Stock in Rachel, was surely Bud Light's limited edition Alien Beer, first announced in July when the meme was at its height. It tasted exactly as I remembered. It tasting in college. Alien attendees' outfits ranged from simple alien-themed t-shirts to full alien get-ups rendered in head-to-toe green spandex, to costumes from the anime series Naruto, which played a role in the original Storm Area 51 meme. Various groups of people clustered together under cover of some rare shade outside the little
Alien, yes.
Rachel's aforementioned single business and the named host of Alien Stock. The only trees in Rachel, it seemed, surrounded its small hotel owned by a woman named Connie West. No one considered this very do-it-yourself weekend a success more than West, who became the de facto organizer of Alien Stock after Roberts changed his plans. "I'm proud of me," West told a small group of news outlets, including Vox, on the second day of the weekend. "I've never been to a festival in my life, and hell, I pulled it off."
Go me!
West was painted as both a victim and a villain in the run-up to Alien Stock, originally pitched as a weekend-long series of live performances hosted by Roberts with West's cooperation. Roberts ultimately blamed West for his decision to avoid Rachel altogether and host a Bud Light-sponsored party in Vegas that bore the Alien Stock name. We started realizing a lot more red flags, money mismanagement, things like that. Oh, really? A 21-year-old teenager and a hotel attendee.
There's money problems. I can't
Yeah.
imagine it.
Let's see. What was it? Oh, yeah. Roberts told Vox of his first in-person planning meeting with West. And from there, me and my partners, we collectively decided to take the Alien Stock brand and just associate it elsewhere because there wasn't enough preparations that had been made so far to actually throw a party in that 11-day time frame we had. Robert said he feared that Rachel would be overwhelmed by people who wanted to see a meme come to life. Residents did too, urging West and Roberts to call it off. The town's website, run by a local named Jorg Arnu, that sounds like a Star Wars name there, was updated frequently with...
Well, let's rename the fat dancer Jorg Arnu, just for the sake of it.
Let's see. What updated frequently with blunt was okay. The website, run by a local named Jorg Arnu, was updated frequently with blunt warnings about how Rachel wouldn't be able to handle the crowds, how West had no infrastructure in place, and how visitors would be disturbing the peace.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to take a break from this by looking at the comments here. Let's see. DeMichael Jackson says they're holding the actual good versions of the Godzilla anime trilogy.
Oh god, the Studio Ghibli Godzilla films are
Oh
being
my
held.
no! Okay. Now we have to go. We have to.
Now we have to
51.
we have to plan a coup to raid Area 51 to get those. Yes.
Sean says they're hiding Chris Chan in Area 51. Nah, they
They can
don't
keep
want
him.
Yeah.
They can't hold it. They can't contain him. He's verging with his what is it? The dimension. I'm sorry.
How dare you, Brayton?
Well, the reason I don't know anymore because recently Christine Chandler is talking about a verge with his Quickville universe.
Yep, the
Where
merging.
the dimension merge, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if Area 51 could contain such stupidity in one place.
Let's see. Titans of Serpent says they're holding the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer in Area 51.
Oh my god.
Let's see. Kevin says they have the Snyder cut of the Justice League movie.
Yeah, they have everything that doesn't exist in Area 51.
Yeah, including
That's where it all is.
including Shreks 5 through 12. I don't know who originally made that joke, but I'm stealing it. Cody says they're hiding the next cut of Blade Runner in Area 51.
Oh god.
Let's see. Martin says it's obvious that they're keeping in Area 51, provided by the information from Heat. They're keeping giant mutated monsters. S452 says, or it could have been Doctor Who's Mirka that's housed in Area 51, and that was the only thing those raiders clap cheeks with. And Shoma says, wait, good versions of the Godzilla trilogy? So absolutely no copies at all, then.
Yeah.
Let's see. Moving forward, yet West insisted that the event would continue when asked by the Associated Press 1 week before Alien Stock was scheduled to begin. I'm still doing the festival with the Alien Stock name on it, she said. I'll just worry about the legalities later. A cease and desist letter came soon afterwards with Roberts demanding that West stop using the Alien Stock name, and West pressing onward saying no, with the hyphenated Alien dash stock. West also countered with a legal notice of her own, alleging that Roberts pulled out of the event unlawfully, though she later told media she had nothing but love for him. Right.
My god.
Perhaps that's why it took multiple attempts to track her down during Alien Stock weekend itself, as she apparently spent Friday driving circles around town in her beige Volkswagen Beetle. I saw this Beetle a handful of times throughout the weekend, always parked in different spots. I never did catch Connie at the wheel. Where's Connie? I asked an event volunteer. I don't know, she said. I've been trying to get a hold of her for 3 months.
She's more elusive than the aliens.
The volunteer said she worked for West at the Little Alien, but as soon as the Storm Area 51 meme went viral and the idea for Alien Stock materialized, West had become hard to reach, leaving Rachel and its residents in the dark about what to expect. Well, that's a sign of a good planner. I'm sure she must have taken some advice from Simon Strange.
None of this was planned.
This apparent evasiveness played into my early impression, and Roberts, that the woman left with Alien Stock in her lap was less beleaguered than conniving, skirting, and anyone wanting to discuss concerns that it would end up a chaotic bust. Thankfully, those concerns were not realized. Things at Area 51 remained peaceful, and in Rachel, everyone seemed too exhausted by the heat or gently appreciative of the afternoon's live music, too much to the belligerent. And let's see here. Not that there was much music anyways. On Friday afternoon, a band called Willie Savage. It's a shame they didn't call themselves Savage Willie.
Or Dick Lee. That'd be a great band name.
Played for a small crowd on what was otherwise a stage that held nothing but a turntable and laptop. An unmanned DJ played slightly dusty radio hits like Skrillex and Justin Bieber's What Do You Mean, while a slight crowd bopped their heads. Though 20
Oh.
bands had reportedly signed on to perform, only one actually showed up.
That kind of seems to be a running theme here. Is a lot of people saying they're going to show up and then at the last minute going, nah.
Let's see. The majority of the attendees seem to be members of the press. There's more press than actual people.
Oh, God.
Which probably contributed to the lack of rowdiness. Vloggers from Peru and journalists from Germany were covering the event alongside US-based outlets like Vox, and our takeaways were similar. The lead-up to Alien Stock was more interesting and eventful than Alien Stock itself.
Yeah.
Alien Stock was an expensive experiment that didn't live up to the hype, but it wasn't a total disaster. The weeks of broken partnerships, widespread skepticism that Alien Stock would even happen, and low attendance didn't faze the event's organizer. To the little aliens, Connie West, Alien Stock was an unqualified success. It's been a great learning experience, West said when she finally spoke to a group of reporters on Saturday. I'm grateful.
From an undisclosed location.
In her Volkswagen Beetle. I'm grateful for the roller coaster of emotions that I've gone through, because without them, we wouldn't be standing here now.
Sure Connie's an alien. I'm calling it. She's got to be an extraterrestrial.
But what makes this special and a success? What makes this special and a success is the smiles that people are leaving with, the memories that they have, and the friendships that they made. That's what matters.
It's about family.
It's hard to completely agree with that sentiment. However, when taking into account the amount of money that local law enforcement spend on Alien Stock in anticipation of a much larger, more boisterous crowd, Lincoln County police officers and highway patrols seem to outnumber actual attendees in the range of 2 to 1, patrolling the perimeter of Rachel with little to do. Meanwhile, the police who had manned the Area 51 gate 10 miles out from Rachel seemed even more bored, but they were as cordial as I've ever seen a cop be. Yeah, that's right, I heard about this. They actually, like, the military and the law enforcement over-prepared for this, thinking that there were going to be a bunch of idiotic memers showing up.
Yeah.
So, when, like, you had, like over 100, like maybe 100, maybe 200 cops, all getting ready for shit to go down. And turns out only like a couple idiots from off the internet, where a bunch of shit posters, real life shit posters showed up. It's like, really? This is what we were prepared for? Let's see.
Little did they know that was the distraction. Then the real team came in. No.
They came in the day after.
Aha! Subverted their expectations.
Oh my god!
No one expects the meme inquisition.
No one expected the meme-quisition. Which is good, certainly. No one got hurt at Alien Stock. No property was damaged. But Sheriff Carey Lee did tell Fox before the weekend that the estimated cost of Lincoln County, Nevada could climb as high as $300,000. They spent $300,000 just to get ready for a riot that never happened. That is the true joke right there, man. The Area 51ers they just trolled the shit out of the police and the military.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure that the few people who did show up with, hey, it'd be kind of funny if we actually did do something, that kind of discouraged them, I would imagine, once they got there. But I just feel bad for the people the military people who did prepare for this. This is just the saddest day of my profession. I would resign immediately.
I mean,
after this.
look at that picture I have up there on the live stream right there. Look at all the cops and the security guards around the area. There's like, dear God, this is what we were preparing for. What does my life come to?
Yeah.
When you add, here we go. We're looking at roughly between fire, EMS, and law enforcement, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 people working this event, Lee told Fox the week before Alien Stock, adding, just my small department alone, I'm looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000 just in overtime costs. That's not including the other law enforcement departments, another 100+ officers that are coming in from the state on mutual aid. When you add all those costs, he continued, I think the cost of just the feeding of those 300 first responders was somewhere in the excess of $150,000. Despite a smaller number of visitors than expected, the costs stayed the same, as the officers were already in place even though the turnout was smaller than anticipated, Lee told Vox afterwards. It's not a small sum, and Rachel did not stand to make any of it back. Alien Stock was a free event, and vendors who set up shop for the weekend hardly seemed to be moving their waves. I saw people per use tables where both visitors and locals were hawking $20 shirts that said Storm Area 51 or Alien Stock on them, but rarely picked them up. And that alien beer, the people selling it didn't seem to charge less than $10 for a measly can they brought into town with them from Vegas. But the low turnout and high costs to the county didn't seem to faze West, who is already thinking about Alien Stock 2020.
Oh, great. Oh, fantastic. So I have to wonder, what good came of any of this? If the community made nothing back from it.
Right. The law enforcement...
A huge waste of government and law enforcement time.
And money.
Disrupting the poor people who just want to enjoy their existence out in the middle of nowhere.
There was no music.
No music. One band showed up.
Overpriced beer and shirts.
Yeah. The world worries me, Andres. I gotta tell you.
Let's see. My mom already told me I was doing it again, West said. It was a strange statement one that drew laughs amid some skeptical eyebrows raising. West was no party planner, despite her pride in Alien Stock and positive outlook. She seemed like someone seeking approval and direction, not unlike many of the people who made it out to Rachel, wanting to have fun with a meme without much of a game plan in mind. So to West, the weekend was worth it, and compared to something like the 2017 debacle that was Fire Festival, which imploded after social media influencers paid high prices to stay in ritzy $12,000 tents that didn't exist and listen to bands that never appeared, Alien Stock was a relative success. It did not live up to the surreal heights hinted at by millions of RSVPs to a joke event on the Facebook page devoted to memes. All the media attention throughout the summer failed to translate into equivalent real-life interest. But there was still fun to be had, whether it was basking in the sun, in the desert, solitude, and warmth, or meeting friendly people who were wowed by any event came together based on nothing but a meme. And the meme itself remains a fond memory. No one can take away how much fun people had online with it, even if Alien Stock itself wasn't the phenomenon that Roberts predicted it would be. And that statement she said, it's like, my mom said I'm doing it again. It's like, I think that
pretty much sums it all up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think she's like, well, I think her mom was like, oh Jesus Christ, she's doing it again. She's caused another uproar. Like, there she goes again, getting her. She's going. What sort of craziness is that that daughter of mine up to?
The adventures she travels in her little brown beetle.
I can imagine that she must have been going through like some sort of like mental breakdown, like realizing, oh shit, I don't have enough like rooms and stuff. It never said so, but I can only assume that her inn did not have enough accommodations. She did not have enough resources to accommodate for everyone coming.
Yeah.
And she was probably like, fuck. Meanwhile, Matty Roberts, he's probably dancing in some like Las Vegas nightclub with like the 5 friends that showed up.
Yeah. I just wish just as a big gag to top the whole thing off, the military would have used some of their Air Force top secret equipment to like stage a fake alien attack or something, and watch all the memers run for their lives
Alien
back
Stock,
to wherever the hell they came from.
Alien Stock 2.
Yeah.
The aliens clap. The cheeks clap back.
Oh God. Yeah, it just seems like a colossal waste of time and money and everything.
So let's see here. I'm just looking through the comments here. Uh, Sean Barry says, "Are they hiding Drake and Josh season 5 in there?" Oh, I bet.
Are they hiding Draco's motion picture in there, Andres? Is that what you're doing with it? You're saving it.
They're
in there?
hiding the script to Bill's adaptation of Draco Azul, Big Blue Fella.
They're hiding the Bill Gay Yeti 2 review in there.
Oh my
Get it
God!
out. Oh.
Let's see, aliens.
They're hiding Bill in there. That's where.
They're hiding all the fat that he lost.
Oh my
All the
God!
weight that he lost is all
His
there.
weight loss plan is being hidden in Area 51.
Let's see. Cody says, "Oh God, what a nightmare this sounds like." In Shoma, alien stock, more like alienating stock.
Or like Alien Flop.
Let's see. Sean, these folks could have gambled in Vegas and instead wasted it on a meme. Let's see. Kevin, well, now people are worried that a movie about a man in clown makeup will instigate mass shootings. Yeah, we live in that world now. In Shoma, like Brayden, I too truly do believe Connie is an alien. Connor, we already know.
Yeah, I mean I don't think that was ever a secret. I'm your favorite Martian.
I understood that reference. Let's see. Titan of Water says, "Hey guys, I haven't been to a live stream in a while. Well, congratulations. You're meeting two jokers talking about more bigger jokers in Nevada."
Ooh, yeah. I'll be Jack Nicholson. You be Cesar Romero. That'll be fun.
Yes.
Yes.
The biggest joke of all is the joke I pulled on them, for there are no aliens. Yes, the clown prince of crime strikes it again. They were wondering what happened to all the bands. Well, I took care of them.
With your conveniently placed little multicolored smoke bombs that go off.
We have Extreme Central says they're concealing the formula to the cure of stupidity inside Area 51.
Oh, they should have let that out. That could have done people some good.
Titan of Serpents. You know what? I bet you they're hiding all the dinosaurs that escaped at the end of the Lost Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
It's Henry Wu. They got Henry Wu up in there.
Ah, that's the new house of Henry Wu. Is there?
Titan of Serpent. Anyway, has anyone seen Jurassic World Battle at Big Rock? I've seen it and I loved it. Yes, I think it's the best Jurassic Park anything since the second movie.
Hey.
And NBFRE Nbfre says, "Hello, guys." Hello, Nbfre.
Hello, Nbfre.
All right, then. So, now that we got that out of the way, I do want to move... Oh, yeah. Any final thoughts on the Storm 51 event, Brayden, as I'm getting the our guest on board?
I'm just confused and fascinated and worn out by the whole thing. I can't believe people coming together, driving all that way, just to be obnoxious.
I mean, people from a very limited fan base getting together in a crowded area for a weekend. I've never heard of such a thing.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Next thing you know,
what are they going to make videos there next?
Yeah, but
from their hotel rooms
with flying pigs and stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And so I believe our guest
low
is here.
rumble has entered the call.
Oh, that's the rumble of a human being who's disappointed in his fellow humans.
Oh, trust me.
Were you at Area 51, Raph? Is that the origin of Dirty McCruption and the Crimson Weirdo?
No. Dirty McCruption and Crimson Weirdo are fully Earth-based. So,
are you
but
sure?
I did go down.
Did one of you come from Area 51 itself?
Knowing Dirty McCruption, he probably just wandered in Area 51 and actually pressed the big.
They were watching. They were watching the front door when they should have been watching the back door. Is that
right? What I mean.
It's like
Yeah, I
cutting
think
back.
you do.
Yeah, cutting back to the Indiana Jones joke. It's like, don't worry, we have top men, and then the two guys are wheeling the wooden thing, but they go inside. And it's like, where's everything? And there's like a big post-it note that says, "Dirty McCruption's got it." And we cut to like a real.
It's like from Batman v Superman, but like instead of like just the lone batarang when he steals the kryptonite, it's just a bribe sandwich laying there where all the aliens used to be.
And then we cut to like a really crappy like south of the border swamp meet where Dirty McCruption is just selling all this advanced alien technology. It's like, it's the Omega 13. I don't know what you do with it, but I think you save Sam Rockwell from getting shot.
I'm just imagining Dirty McCruption running out the back door with all the aliens trying to hold all this equipment in like shopping carts and everything while Band on the Run plays as they run away.
He's in a van and his the guy in the shotgun is Max Rebo. I don't know what you are, little effing dude, but I like you. I'm gonna call you anyway.
We're gonna go on the road.
You play a mean space piano.
But no, I think, yeah, okay, first off, Connie does sound like an alien. Nobody can be that optimistic and live on this planet. It's like, I bet she comes from stupid Ditsia 14. But more to the point, I think this whole Area 51 thing did prove one thing, and I think you brought it up at the beginning of the conversation. Yeah, it really shows that a lot of the blowhards on the internet, regardless if they just mean for fun or if they're actual trolls, are just all talk, no action. And it's like, what is it? Like, you said like thousands of people said they were going to go?
2 million people
2 million.
said they were going to go.
2 million.
And another million said they were interested in going.
Yeah.
So
I'm supposed to go to Stonehenge this weekend and summon the ghost of Nessie, but maybe I could go to Area 51.
Maybe I'll just get naked in the desert with a bunch of weirdos and talk about clapping alien cheeks for a day.
Yeah, but no. It's at the very least, it really shows a lot of people on the internet are full of poop. Isn't that right, audience?
You're all full of poop.
And so one person said, Kevin says now there are 3 Jokers, but who is Raph then? Jared Leto?
Yeah, oh hell no! Yeah. Please, hell no!
I'm just gonna hurt you really bad.
No, I'm Kevin Michael Richardson as the
as
from
Black
the
Joker.
Batman animated series.
As Jamaican Joker.
Exactly, the most underrated Joker of all. So.
Yeah, so it's like about 2 million people RSVP'd, but only like roughly around 100 people showed up.
Yeah,
and I would say like, the most interesting part was like the night of the first day, like early midnight morning. That was like the most eventful time. Everything else I can only assume was just like one band, a few T-shirts, overpriced beer, and that's it. So like just the majority of the hype was around like midnight when everyone was initially there to take a bunch of stupid photos and chant, "Clap alien cheeks! Clap alien!" That literally happened. They were all together saying, "Clap alien cheeks! Clap alien cheeks!"
You know, it would be hilarious that there's a race of aliens who believe their butt cheeks are sacred, and this starts off.
Did you write that, Raph?
No, my ideas are way more highbrow.
I'm just worrisome of like the troll, internet, provocative, don't have a care in the world, just like shit culture that the kids are into these days.
Yeah,
I'm worried about.
You mean the kind of people who are like, I'm gonna say the N-word?
Yeah, I'm
gonna vote for Trump because it's funny, even though he's ruining my future life as a young American. But I don't care; it's funny.
That's what I'm worried about. Is those people being in the real world and having to step away from the internet once and actually make actual decisions and like be in positions of power in like companies and running things, because it's one thing to be like, hey, I'm a free spirit, I don't care, I'm just doing this for a joke. but you realize there are things in life you have to care about. There's things in life you can't just dismiss and not pay attention to and make memes about.
Also, unlike the internet, your actions have consequences in the
They
real
have
life.
consequences. Yeah.
What was that one kid, that one like Sonic fan? When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
He sounds like a wise sage.
Yeah.
So no. To be honest, I've known some people like this who are all talk until action comes about, and I think these people are just blowhards. Like if they contribute anything,
shit posters.
Yeah, shit posters. But in real life, they're probably the meekest kiss ups you can imagine. Like the kind of people who talk a big game, but if they were actually faced with the challenge, they would immediately go and run behind a gas station attendant, which I've had happen several times. So, but I'm gonna keep the show
Once
happy.
Shoma gets into specifics, you know he's talking from real world experience.
Right, human beings suck. I went to Area 51 to make an alien friend. All I found were some dumb teenagers and a really lonely orc.
Well, the internet is just so empowering to the most flippant of people out there.
Yeah.
So it's one thing to sit behind a keyboard and say raid Area 51, whether you mean it or not. But if you actually make the decision to drive out all that way and camp out in the desert, you're not. These people worry me. This is our next generation.
Yeah,
This
I
is
don't know. It
America. Don't get
I'm not
slipping
God.
now.
Raph, quick, take your shirt off. Shoot some people. Dance in a warehouse. Dirty reception. Dancing in a warehouse. Singing "This is America."
It's America. You can just live it now.
I'm not going to get too serious or political at all. I want to kind of keep this a happy episode.
Sure.
But it right now the current generation could go either way. They'll either end up being like more intelligent people than the baby boomers and Generation X turned out to be, or we're just gonna have a new flavor of stupid that the baby boomers and Generation X had to offer. But to be honest, it's like what Brayton just says kind of reminds me of all those people who went to like that massive hate rally with like the Hawaiian tiki torches, where they were like all blustered, but then you hear all the horror stories afterwards where they were suddenly recognized by friends, families, and employers. And it's like, whoops, that was a mistake.
Whoopsie, we forgot to pack the white hoods.
I knew we forgot something.
George?
What? You buy hoods at this time of night. George, the lazy Klansman.
I tried sewing all of them, but they're just too many. I didn't know our head shapes.
Damn it! These are paper bags painted with white
out
out.
of this mask.
Oh god! And already we lost the massive conservative audience.
Oh, wonderful! I think, I don't know, with the culture that the internet is, the 21st century is birthing. I'm afraid that the society is just going to implode on itself eventually. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be able to support itself into future generations and future decision making.
Well, look on the bright side. Again, like 2 million people, less than 40 showed up, and not only that, but how can I say this? My brain just froze. Oh my god, the freeze laser from Area 51. No, there's a lot more good people in the world than there is bad people, but bad people scream and whine the loudest, and you tend to notice them before you notice the good people. So that's what I've kind of come to learn from life. For every asshole, there's like 10 wonderful people who will track that asshole down into a corner and beat them to death. But I wouldn't know.
Okay, so earlier before, Sean asked us about G-Fest. While we did record videos about G-Fest, they are taking a while because, Brayden and I have been busy doing other stuff. But I guess to summarize things quickly, I previously mentioned G-Fest was a big success for me in terms of Draco Azul. But yeah, G-Fest was, I had a great time. Enjoyed a great time talking to friends, meet, new and old friends alike. Got to meet people like Matt Burke, got the guy from Monstrosities. I got to meet D-Man and Titan Goji, for the first time in person, which was really cool. Got to meet several of my fans in person. Really great to see the love and support from them. Yeah, it was overall a great time, man. Yeah. But it has gotten more apparent that the con is getting too much bigger and bigger each year, and might be getting too big for the Crown Plaza Hotel. So I have no idea what's going to happen there. I know this year they already run out of rooms for next year's G Fest, and so
yeah. Well, that's definitely in recent years. Yeah, there's all the rooms there are selling out quicker and quicker with each passing year. People pre-ordering or reserving rooms in advance.
Right.
So I don't know.
And,
I had an experience definitely a lot more good than bad for me, but I'm definitely getting a sense of the problems with the convention that are kind of inherent are becoming more and more obvious to me and seeping up through the cracks this past year. They've become a lot more noticeable. It was basically, the biggest, greatest takeaway is getting to talk to new people there and meet new people like D-Man, and I got to talk to Jacob Baker for the first time ever. I've never talked to him before. He was awesome. And Christopher Martinez and Denny Roth, of course. Yeah, that's always the best part about it, I think. The convention can usually go either way depending on the events that are there and who the guests are, but that's always the fun part for me, is just seeing old friends and making new ones.
And
it's about family, wouldn't you say?
It is. And for you, Ralph?
It's a shame, though, at the end of G-Fest, we were all trying to escape from the First Order, and only 4 of us remained. Everyone else got blown up.
Yeah. Nope. Well, no. You see, the sad part is, we killed Andres off for the first day, and then I got tired and disappeared and died the second day, and then Raph died in real life. So now we're kind of at a weird dead end here. But
meanwhile, Patrick Galvin has been praying to be killed off since Return of the Jedi.
He's been trying to have on-set accidents throughout. Oh, look, I'm dead. No, you're not, Patrick. You're still in this. Whoops.
Yeah, but seriously, I'm still pissed off about General Akbar getting exploded. Okay, anyways, on to G-Fest. I had, it's funny, I was less impressed with the convention than I was more with just meeting all these people I've known online for years on end. And it's like Matt Burkett was really cool, and his group of friends, they were just awesome. It was nice to meet Jessica. I'm not going to say her last name because I'll screw it up. It was nice to meet her in person. It was nice to meet all these people. It's the only person I regret not having a chance to talk to was some of the guests, which is probably better because
they could end up like the people who they could be the kind of people who would end up going to Area 51.
Yeah, Akira Takarada.
Akira Takarada at Area 51. I'm coming back for you, Fuge. Where are you?
with his shirt off, and he's with the words "I slap Nick Adams' cheeks" written on his abs. But
I clap Exilian cheeks.
Yes.
Someone should have had a sign right there. You should have said "clap alien cheeks," and would have been a picture of her, that actress.
Okay. Oh.
But you.
Yeah, and I do regret I didn't get a chance to talk to Jacob Baker because everyone says we were kind of very similar as far as eccentric artistry went. But no, I think I had more fun just hanging around people and visiting some of the more interesting panels that dealt with more obscure stuff than I was with the overall convention itself. But then again, it's funny. I like the hotel, but is it just me or the hotel is just kind of small, even if there was no convention in there?
Oh no, it's always been a super small hotel. I mean, it is tiny compared to the main conventions that I've seen, footage of. Even though the only other convention I've gone to is Comic-Con, which is the largest convention. I know that on average, it's like most conventions are held in halls and larger hotels than from the footage I saw, DashCon had a bigger hotel than G-Fest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about things we can't take back.
No, I'm just talking about the hotel. I'm not talking about the event
La la
itself.
la, I'm not listening. La la.
DashCon
There's no
had a bigger hotel than
there were a lot
G-Fest.
of there were a lot of dirty diapers at G Fest.
No,
Just like DashCon.
No, that is Rainforest.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Rainforest is the one
Forgive
with the crinklers.
Yes, because
that's right.
as we know, Andres knows everything about anthropomorphic.
The Crinkler, isn't that a William Castle film with Vincent Price? The Crinklers among you.
Everyone scream! Scream for your diapers! Oh god. But seriously,
That's what they're hiding in Area 51. The Lost Vincent Price classic, The Crinkler.
It just opens with William Castle going like, "Hello, I'm William Castle. What the hell was I thinking?"
During this film, diapers will descend from the ceiling on top of you.
It may surprise you. It may even shock you.
It may even arouse you.
Oh god.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But no. Well, yeah. The hotel. Well, it's funny with the convention that's across the street that they held that convention in 1 year back in 2010, I think. The one that Patrick and I were at all those faded years ago. It's weird. Just over the last couple of years, how much the convention has grown. It was the center was too big to house it then, really, because the convention seemed really small when it was in an actual convention center. Yeah. But I think it might not be such a bad idea with the rate that it's growing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and JD Lee's excuse has always been, "Oh, if I move it to a bigger place, everything will be more expensive." Even though it'll actually end up being just as expensive as your average convention, like everything in G-Fest in its current state is significantly cheaper than any convention that's usually out there. You know, the tables are cheaper, for Artist Alley, the badges are cheaper. So by making everything more expensive, you're just making it the average price of an average con.
Yeah. And move into a bigger venue and make everything much more comfortable too. So it's like I know there was a complaint that there was a G-Fest actually took place at the convention center down the street. But it was like they just kind of poorly planned it. It was like a little section of audience in a big corner of a huge room or something like that. It's like you can close those things off, can't you?
Well, the convention center is huge, and I don't know. I really do think they need to find a different venue. I do like the hotel though well enough. Past questionable deaths there notwithstanding. The hotel's fine. I just think that's just the bottom line of it is the convention is kind of outgrowing it. It's just in pure mass of people. Find a place where you can put the Artist Alley in an actual room and not in the basement at the end of the hall.
I will say the Artist Alley was bigger than I thought it would be, and we had surprisingly a very good amount of people. A very good, solid, consistent traffic of people coming in and out of the Artist Alley all 3 days. So I was really happy about that.
I just like the old one so much better because it was a lot more roomier and comfortable. Like that's the thing for me.
And even even then, like by most con standards, the old Artist Alley was pretty small to begin with.
Yeah, I just like the maneuverability or whatever in there where you could actually stand and not feel like you were in someone's way constantly. That's the thing. I loved going in there and visiting you and Denny and all that, but I could only stay in there for like a certain amount of time because all the sweat and the collective body heat and me being over elaborate with my dress, wearing vests and dress shirts.
Dressing
I couldn't
up like
stay
the
in
Joker, and getting the attention of the G-Fest staff.
Yes, I couldn't. I couldn't. But I wish they got a better deal for you guys.
Well, yeah. Here's a bit of advice to con attendees. So this actually answers Sean Berry's questions. Any tips for first-time G-Fest attendees from 2 episodes ago? Okay, here's the thing. This is like common like Artist Alley etiquette. As much as I would as artists would love to talk to you for a while, it's best not to stand in front of the artist's table for too long, because people are coming in and coming out, and when people want to approach a table, but if someone is already there at the table, that potential customer will most likely skip your table and go to look for a table to check out that's empty. So like the longer you stay there, that actually hurts the business of the artist alleys there. So it's like, it's good to stay there and chat and talk, but it's best not to stay there too long, because by staying there you inadvertently drive off potential customers. I really wish there was a nicer way of me to say that, because it sounds kind of douchey. It sounds like,
I don't want to talk to you. I want to make money.
But it's that's
not
the
only
thing.
that,
Not
only that, but from my own experiences doing artist tables at other conventions, you have an even worse version of that, of people who choose your table just to hang out. Like I had one girl just come in and start, like, dumped out her old bag of like cosplay material and just started getting dressed right in front of me. And it's
and I wasn't complaining, but I
was about to say so. But it's like, seriously, like, you didn't even ask me questions. There was plenty of room next to me. I would have gladly allowed you to be there. And then, of course, what is that? The G-Fest Artist Alley, the thing I've noticed, and this is something that really gets on my nerves, as both a convention attendee and a convention employee, so to speak, or vendory, as I should say. Get it? It's a play on the word vendor. You have those people who like to just stand in the middle of these large traffic lines and like have long cell phone conversations right there, when you can easily go somewhere else. And I'm sorry, it's like I tried going to the G-Fest Artist Alley multiple times, but then it's like I swear there was like a whole bunch of like large ladies who had to stand in the middle of the traffic areas and start doing cell phone conversations right there. And yeah, it is very, like, how can I say? It is very, darn it, what's the word? Unappealingly bad. No, it is intimidating when you're trying to get it to somebody's table, but there's already like a large crowd, or even just one person who's just kind of blocking the middle of it. Standing to the side, allowing the work to be seen or something, that works okay. But yeah, no, I really can't stand the people who just kind of rudely, use other people's tables just to, dump their stuff. Oh, and I've even had people, thankfully this wasn't one of my tables, but I was like co-tabling with somebody, and we left for just a minute to check out something. And when we came back, somebody left like a frozen bottle water leaking on one of the art prints and destroying it. So that was incredibly rude. So, and I just brought this whole little podcast or live stream down to the sad level, huh?
Well, I did want to mention that, it's best not to stand in front of a table for too long, because, at the end of the day, as much as artists would like to talk to you guys, they're there to sell stuff, and they're there primarily to make business, to do business. And they can make business, then that's a lot. That's kind of like a lot of artists. They make a good chunk of their living off of selling art at conventions. So by standing in front of them, not buying their art, and just having the talking with them, it's hurting their business, and I'm very, very sorry about that.
Don't be sorry. It's like, it is a truth that needs to be shared, and more to the point, your audience seems to be a bunch of bright young lads too.
I don't know what's up with all this rhino milk stuff that they keep posting.
Yeah, they seem like a bunch of bright lads. Go to the comments. Rhino milk. Rhino milk.
I didn't notice the rhino milk. I take everything back. You bunch of dummies. Have you tried drinking milk from the nipples of a rhino? You get the horns, sucker.
I bet you this has something sexual in nature. Knowing the
sexual or stupid?
Both. Yes, always. Yeah. Another thing, don't put your hands on the artist's table, especially your hands on the art itself. You know who you are.
$2 million Matt Frank original art. Ooh, let me touch it.
$2 million?
So yeah, keep your stuff off the table. Keep your hands off the table, especially. And yeah, it's good to talk to
keep
someone
your hands
for a
where we
while,
can see them.
But keep the traffic moving.
Right. No handstands. No taking a nap on the artist table.
No T posing. I know how tempting that can be.
Connie from Area 51 shows up at your table, Andres. I'm just going to take a nap right here. Can I use your comics as a pillow? Thank you.
I'm just gonna park my giant ass brown beetle on your desk here on top of all your comics.
What was it? Earlier before someone mentioned, no one speaks to Jesus that way, says Andres. I love how that's kind of becoming a meme now. Yeah, I did do that. I say that at our YouTubers panel in reference to Titan Goji's appearance. And yeah, the YouTubers panel was a huge success. I only wish we had more time to answer questions, and maybe next year, now that we have our introductory panel, maybe the next one will be just full on Q&A. Who knows? Let's see.
Right. What did you mean by your Gamera joke? I am offended. You don't know what Gamera is? That's horrible.
Let's see.
I know what Gamera is. I know all too well.
It's true. The Gamera.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. I've stared into the ugly maw of Virus for 5 hours.
Oh yeah, NBFRE says, was Matt Frank at G-Fest this year? He's at every G-Fest every year.
I don't think he's ever missed one.
He said, yeah, in fact, I understand that Matt Frank plays a vital role in the existence of the Artist Alley, because apparently some people want to get rid of the Artist Alley, or people want to move Matt Frank to the what's it called? This might be a rumor. I can't confirm this, but I believe Matt Frank, people want to move Matt Frank from the Artist Alley to the dealer's room, much like what was it? Much like Ed Godziszewski, he's there, but I meant to say Bob Eggleton. He's never in Artist Alley. He's always in the dealer's room. But Matt Frank, from what I understand, he prefers to stay in the Artist Alley because he is aware that, of course, he is the most popular Godzilla artist there in the community by far. And so by him constantly staying in the Artist Alley, he is drawing traffic towards everyone else. So if he's gone, a good chunk of that audience is not going to be there anymore.
Matt Frank is he is to the Artist Alleys what King Kong is to the MonsterVerse version of Skull Island. Without him,
Matt Frank is the Batman of the poor Warner Brothers dying DC artist.
See, Matt Frank is the key to all this. He's a funnier artist than we had before. Hopefully it'll work out.
If we can just get him working, hopefully it'll work.
Duct tape the wire. Put a button in there. Press B4. Make him draw something.
Yeah, just put the the dojo room downstairs. Put the Artist Alley. Connect it move it somewhere else.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised how much free non-used space was going on. No offense to the Dojo Studios people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no offense to them whatsoever. They seem like nice people, but
no, they were this year there was there even a set this year? I think it was just a bunch of chairs and a big stage and screen where they were given PowerPoint demonstrations.
Yeah, no, I went in there and it was there was the stage, there was the screen, but the audience seats, but there was still tons of extra floor room. They didn't even have a model set. It was a little photo op area in the corner with a couple of buildings here and there. It's there was if you share the room a bit, I think you could put a little bit of the Artist Alley. I don't know. It just seemed like a waste, and there was no elaborate city set like I was expecting from other G-Fest videos I've seen. So, and it's I don't want to say that to be mean to the Dojo Studio guys, because when I went there, they seemed like a very friendly bunch. So. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, one year I know they had Artist Alley just out in the hallways, which was a bad idea because they lined up tables against the wall down the hallway, and then they actually found a room for it, and then Bill Murray came along with his restaurant and got rid of that room.
Hey, you guys don't mind if I screw over your living business? That's good. Okay, bye.
So yeah, the Artist Alley
sucked.
Our Artist Alley is constantly moving, but the Dojo Studios room has pretty much been there since they established that in that corner at the end of the main hallway. So
let's see. Sean Berry says, but what about John Bellotti Jr.? Yes, John Bellotti Jr. is an amazing fellow. Great talking to him, great seeing him again, and yeah. He deserves more attention. Everyone deserves more attention.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess moving on, we've been at this for about 2.5 hours, so let's quickly see if we can go through some of these questions that Sean and Jordan left in 2 episodes prior. I'm very sorry, Patrick and Andrew, I don't know what's going on with the stupid meme, but yeah, I
Rhino milk!
You don't want to know. I don't know, and I don't want to know. Let's see. So
are these people going to show up to Africa to drink rhino milk, or are there going to be no shows?
Yes.
You cowards.
we need Milk Fest, Rhino Milk Fest.
Right.
Let's see. So here's some questions from 4 months ago. With the existence of the awesome Castlevania series, what are some video game franchises you would like to see animated TV show adaptations of? Let's see. I'm pretty sure Sonic has never gotten an animated TV show adaptation. I'm sure that'll work out just fine. No, let's see. Who would I go with? Very quickly, let's see. I'm sure another Mario animated series would do very well. Let's see. Animated, I don't know, Rampage? I'm sure you'll get some goofy stuff out of that. Virtual On, sure, why not? Hey, I don't know.
I would put my vote up for a Virtual On anime series.
Yeah. Let's see. Any of you guys?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Any video game franchises you'd like to see an animated TV show adaptation of?
Oh God, Raph, do you know anything about these video games?
Wait, Kid Icarus, because I played the last one on 3DS, and that itself felt like it had like 2 or 3 seasons worth of story content for an animated series. So yeah, Kid Icarus.
Okay, I was about to say Kid Icarus too, but I would like to see a proper Mega Man animated series
What are
as
you
opposed
talking
to like.
about? Don't you like Mega Man Fully Charged? The CG Mega Man show?
And I was like, and I grew up with that stupid Ruby Spears
Super Fighting
Man
Robot.
series.
No.
Yeah, that one.
That was my introduction to Mega Man in general.
Oh no, me and my brothers, we had Mega Man 2. We played that almost like at least once a week, years before that stupid show showed up. And it's like, we're always so disappointed. It's like, we knew it was going to be crap, but we still watched anyway, so...
Ooh, Crash Bandicoot! I'd love to see an animated show about him. He'd be perfect for that.
Right. Other than that, I'm not that much of a game person, so I really can't think of anything. It's like, other than Tetris, no, I can't think of anything.
Well, the Larry Kasanoff, the producer of the brilliant films of Mortal Kombat and Food Fight, wants to make a Tetris movie.
He can go burn in hell and drink rhino milk till the end of time. I love Tetris. I play it all the time, just as a stress reliever. But it's seriously, don't. We've already had the Emoji Movie. Okay, it's like it's gonna be no better. What are you gonna get? Like Seth Rogen to play the block? What?
Let's see. Next up, what do you like most about Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster as a film? I like that it was a perfect blending of 2 very different genres, which was like the sci-fi disaster monster action horror stuff, and a more serious international crime drama. I like it was able to combine monsters and crime drama, 2 different genres from 2 different worlds, and blend them perfectly together. And that's what I love most about Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to go, Brayton, about why you like Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster?
I think it sucks. Sorry.
It's a well-known opinion. It's okay.
I think it's pretty. I think it's a generally liked movie, isn't it? I don't think that's a shared opinion by a lot of people, Raph. I think is that your opinion? Do you not love it?
I think it. No. I adore the movie immensely. As you guys know, the Showa era of Godzilla movies are like my favorite of all the Godzilla films series or cycles, I should say. And I think the three-headed monster that's definitely like a high point. Like, it's the Avengers of the original Godzilla cycle, and then we move on to the other phases where we spend time on a desert island trying to raise a kid. But I agree with Andres. It's a great mix of the human drama and the giant monster action. And even knowing the titular monster doesn't show up often throughout the movie, he makes enough of an impact that, he's still a memorable character. And more to the point, we got plenty of monster mayhem. I think one of the elements I like about the movie is just Rodan and Godzilla just beating the shit out of each other for like an hour and a half. Like petulant children grown to jumbo god size. I think that's a hilarious joke.
It's a pretty fun. It's a pretty funny fight too. It's definitely done a little more comedically. It's a more comical fight.
Yeah, and of course it ends wonderfully with the monster conference headed by Mothra. You idiots, calm down! There's something bigger coming this way. They're not listening, blah, blah, blah. We're kids.
Yeah, I think what I liked most about it is that it was my first Godzilla movie. It was the one that started it all. Yeah, after I watched Gorgo, that was my first actual Godzilla movie, and I'm like, hey, I want to see more. I actually still have this very VHS tape we bought from I don't remember the name of the video store. I have to look at what the box says. But it wasn't like a Blockbuster. It was like a little mom and pop video store in my hometown. But yeah, I still have that VHS tape. We bought it from the store because it meant so much to me. But yeah, that's definitely one that I've seen a lot of times and wore the VHS tape out, and I have almost every scene of that memorized to an extent.
Okay. So, okay, awesome. Any tips for first-time G-Fest attendees? I already gave my tips concerning...
Don't go!
I'm already
it's a trap!
I already gave my tips involving...
It's a trap!
I already gave my tips involving Artist Alley, so any tips from you guys?
Okay. The food, the restaurants around the hotel and within the hotel are very pricey, especially the winery we went to next door. But inside the G-Fest, there are tons of flyers. Inside the hotel, I should say, there are tons of flyers for food that you can order out. And a lot of these will deliver straight to your hotel room, too. So keep that in mind as a cheap alternative to try and eat at these extremely fancy restaurants around the area. So... Also, don't grope people for no reason.
You see, I don't think everybody could do some
Bill
bit of
Cosby, you
grope.
just ruin everything. I don't know why we brought you to G.
You see, the G in G-Fest stands for Grope Fest, you see.
Between you and Dirty McCruption, there was no fun at G-Fest for anybody.
Oh yeah, it was Dirty McCruption's first G-Fest too. Does he have any tips?
I'm not asking him. He's an asswipe.
Oh, okay. You guys aren't on speaking terms?
No, not at all. Just because I work with the gentleman doesn't mean I like him. You guys hung out with him a lot. How was he like?
Kind of a diva.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all there is to
Yeah,
that.
that sounds about right. Yeah, I hate Dirty McCruption. He's a completely different individual than I am.
Like what was James Rolfe said? I don't like him. He's an asshole. Let's see. Oh,
yeah, just cut to me. Just cut to me dressed up as like Marty McFly in Back to the Future 3, like pointing at a picture of Dirty McCruption. The guy's an asshole.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Right. S452 has a good one. Have a set budget and don't pay $60 for the King of the Monsters Mothra NECA figure. That's a good one. Yeah, make sure you have budget. You set yourself a budget. Next question. Yeah. A weird question. When does something stop being artistic and just comes off as pretentious in your opinion? When shit happens because fuck you, that's why.
And when it gets too boring to bear.
Anything else?
Yeah, and when you can basically feel the filmmaker just waxing himself off and trying to come off as profound through the camera.
Ask me what it means. Ask me what it means.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh God. I'm trying to think of a really pretentious film director, and it's just a 2-hour movie where
Terrence Malick. Terrence Malick.
What films has he made? I'm not familiar with him.
Well, I think
I've heard the name.
Yeah, same here. He's often attributed to that kind of style.
I think Quentin Tarantino like tightrope walks like the line of pretentiousness but he's able to just pull it back ever so slightly.
Yeah, I think, like, no offense, but I think Spike Lee kind of is in that same ballpark. But when he falls off the tightrope, he falls off hard. Man, like Bamboozled. I did not have fun time with that movie.
All right.
Yeah.
Question: As Star Wars fans, what are your thoughts on the recently released ambitious fan remake of the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader from A New Hope titled SC-38 Reimagined? It's a decent experiment.
Yeah. That was fucking pretentious for me. I don't know. It feels it's just like, why waste time and money into doing this?
Maybe it's a special effects demo reel, an editing demo reel.
I don't know.
Yeah, Star Wars fan would say that.
There's no. It's way too modern, way too not even prequely feeling, but it just feels weird and out of place to see old Alec Guinness Obi-Wan Kenobi doing weird body contortions and flipping and flailing like that. I don't know. It just feels like too. It feels too fanny pretentiousness to me. That's like the thing I don't like. I don't like most about some fan films is when it's when they shove that's talking about pretentiousness in fan films. I don't like that so much when they think, oh, wouldn't it be better and cooler if it happened this way?
I can do it better.
I don't like that kind of rewriting of history.
Why does the Star Wars fan sound like Harvey Weinstein? No, damn it. The other guy.
Please, Dirty McCruption, just let me watch you shower. Please, I'm begging you.
You gotta pay extra to watch the soap.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, as you're saying.
This is becoming incredibly unappealing. No, yeah, I don't like... it's one thing for George Lucas to rewrite his own shit. It's another thing for fans to rewrite that shit. I didn't care for it. I thought it was too edit heavy, too choppy, I didn't really like it. And it doesn't fit or blend well with the actual movie. Like they were trying to insert the scenes from the movie in there. It doesn't work. It just didn't work for me. I liked the that other really popular Star Wars fan film, the Vader film that the Star Wars Theory guy made. That was getting some traction recently. Got the attention of Disney actually and Lucasfilm, telling them you better not fucking be making money off this because it got so big. So good for that guy. He seems like he's doing kind of his own original story, but just remaking a fight scene, it's kind of like, why bother doing that?
Okay.
Yeah, and not only that, but there's so many Star Wars fan projects out there that that all of them, even the good ones, have lost their lost that kind of mystic feel around them, like some other fan films might gain. I think the only, like in the last 10 years, the only Star Wars fan project that I was at all impressed with that on earnest recreation of the original A New Hope. With all the different film elements. With
all the different fan concept art.
Yeah. So, not just the one with the concept art, but the one where the guy went back and recreated the original A New Hope before, without any of these special edition edits, and he took it from different sources to create like
the Phantom, not the Phantom,
the
despecialized edition,
the despecialized version, because that was a lot of good work, and that was a real good use of digital technology to try restore something to its original form. And yes, I know George Lucas owns Star Wars; he can do with whatever he wants with the original cut. Oh, wait a minute, Disney owns the original cut. Never mind.
And Bob Iger said, "Fuck you, George."
I bought Fox. Yeehaw!
Read my book.
No, it's nice to have the original version existing somehow, and I hope we get something similar with a newer release. But no, I hate to say it, there's so many Star Wars fan films. It's like
Well, here's the thing with that. They're not even films. The most Star Wars fan films you see are just lightsaber fights. That's about it. Because that's the very surface thing. Oh, Star Wars lightsaber fights. That's the thing I hate most. Is that if you're gonna put that effort into a fan thing, actually come up with something interesting or new you can bring to it. Do like an actual story instead of just lightsaber fight, Darth Maul versus Darth Vader in my backyard, lightsaber fight. Isn't that fun?
Right, gotta give it up for the lightsaber fights.
Gotta give it up. Gotta clap for that. Gotta clap for that.
I saw that.
Very
I
cool.
recognized it. Very cool. Very cool.
I know
Very
what
cool.
that is. ATTs. ATT. I thought you were talking about, Raph, when you were saying the guy who went and recreated stuff. There was one that came out in 2000, I think, maybe a little after The Phantom Menace. Somebody, like it was a fan, like a group production, fans from like all over the world recreating A New Hope, but like on no budget and doing it in different like interesting ways. Like people just filming literally like hundreds of people taking individual scenes from the movie and like maybe half a scene or a fraction of a scene and recreating it like on no budget with their friends, and some doing like limited animation, some doing live action stuff, and some doing like I was really big. I need to find it again, but that was something creative. I like creative fan films, unlike certain ones that are out there involving turtles and robots and puppets. And
I know. I saw the test footage for the upcoming one with Jiger. Why is Helmet and the Crimson Weirdo fighting with lightsabers?
Yeah, that's why it's taken so long. It's taking 20 years to make because every single scene has so many things going on. Every single shot has a digital effect. If we can just get the Crimson Weirdo,
so dense.
Yes.
Right.
If we can just get Mark, the Crimson roommate, working, then everything will come together.
He'll be a funnier character than any before.
That's right.
Yeah. Also, it's like what Peter. Okay.
Anyway, please move on to the next question.
Okay.
Yes, please.
As long as you guys shut up. What
we do go on.
What to you are a good example of long movies and bad example of long movies? Good example, Lord of the Rings. Bad example, King Kong.
Lord of the Rings.
I can't argue against that.
No.
So.
And
Nope,
and
nope,
pretty much
yes,
anything
no.
Peter Jackson touches. Yeah.
All right. It's like good example, Peter Jackson. Bad example, Peter Jackson.
Would Endgame be a good example of a good 3-hour long movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's stuff going on. There's interesting characters, interesting new developments, twists and turns, instead of people on a fucking boat for 2.5 hours.
You know, Mike, a quick add-on to that. I wish they would bring back the intermission to long-form films. Like, give us like a good 10.
It's called the pause button.
Yeah. When you're back in the old days when you had like 3-hour, 4-hour epics, there would be a 10 to 15-minute intermission in the middle of the movie where audience members could go. It's inspired by like plays, taking an intermission in between acts 1 and 2. And I wish they would bring that back. Like even just a simple 10 minutes for everyone to go out and stretch their legs for a little bit. So, that wouldn't be too hard too, especially considering movies just keep getting longer and longer. We can throw in an intermission in there. So.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see. Next, do you guys like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul? Yes, always.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to El Camino.
I am interested in El Camino. I trust the team behind it. I trust Vince Gilligan, but there's just a part of me.
Gillian?
Vince, I think it's Gilligan, isn't it? Vince Gilligan, something like that. Vince is his first name.
Skipper.
Yeah.
You're right, Gilligan. Yeah.
Gilligan, yeah. I trust him, but the thing I have with prequels and sequels of really great things, even when they're done by capable hands, I'm like, there's a part of me who sit in the back of my brain that says, is this really needed? But I'm interested. Hopefully it all works out. Hopefully it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they don't pull a Walter White Force Ghost out of the ether and
bring him in.
You don't have to do that. I trust that they won't do that.
I know. I bet you there's some like
a flashback dream sequence.
Yeah, there's some. It's gonna have a Mickey version. It's like, get up, you son of a bitch.
Well, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about that because there's Mike Ehrmantraut, Jesse's other mentor, who is actually a good, one of the few actual good-hearted people in the series. The actor Jonathan Banks said, "Oh yeah, I'm in it," and that has me worried because you were killed. Please don't. I'm afraid they're gonna do the "get up, you son of a bitch" thing.
Nothing can kill me, you know.
I don't know. I'm interested though, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, according to Star Wars, no one's ever really gone. Instead of the Emperor, it's Sal's evil brother.
No, it's Walter White doing his evil Power Ranger voices.
Oh,
this doesn't work.
All right, next.
I will kill you with the Snapple Apple. Ah.
Andres, I know you don't like Nosferatu much, but would you consider giving the 1979 remake a shot? No. Okay, sure, yeah. Whatever.
It's actually a pretty good movie, although it's definitely Werner Herzog towing the line between being interesting and pretentious.
Isn't that Shadow of the Vampire, something like that? Isn't it?
No. Yeah, no.
What's the one with Willem Dafoe? Which one's that?
That's Shadow of the Vampire. It's sort of a mockumentary / comical drama about the making of the movie, except that the vampire was real. Yeah. Werner Herzog, everybody's favorite depressing German.
I will play Nosferatu. I will be the scariest vampire ever put to film.
No. He left that role to a truly terrifying actor. That guy who's always working with, that horrible German actor who tried to kill him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it was his attempt to remake the movie in the 1970s, and he brings a more apocalyptic darkness to it. So it's an interesting watch, I think.
Okay. Huh. Thoughts on the legendary comedian Sid Caesar? I'm not familiar with him.
I've seen a couple of Sid Caesar sketches, and he was a big friend and partner of Mel Brooks. In fact, a lot of the work that Mel Brooks would add to his movies started with Sid Caesar's original show, comically
The Show of Shows.
Titled, yes, Show of Shows. And I've seen plenty of sketches, and they're really good. But as Mel Brooks once said in his extended interview with Conan O'Brien, I think Sid Caesar would have been great if he was the star of several comedy movies instead of just staying in television. True, Sid Caesar made a lot of money sticking with television, but similar to Ernie Kovacs and the Ritz brothers, without a movie, there's really nothing to really archive of his work. So that's kind of the shame there. But no, he's a really awesome guy, and I wish I could go back in time and just save as much of his sketches and television work as possible for modern day audiences.
All right.
Yeah. Movies are definitely more preserved than television of that era. So
yeah.
Let's see. Next up, favorite Western film. I want to say maybe High Noon.
That's a good one.
I just like the ones where it's just this one guy with these overwhelming odds.
Yeah.
It's like the one of the biggest underdog stories I've ever seen. And it's awesome.
Right. You have anything, Brayton?
Well, mine has always been Once Upon a Time in the West, but outside of that, I really don't know. I have a lot. That's why I really can't say my favorite. But I like a lot of the John Ford Western movies. Obviously, I love The Searchers, and I love oh gosh, what is it? What's the one with Jimmy Stewart and Jack? The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Yeah, I love that one. Yeah. I love Rio Bravo. There's a lot. There's really a lot.
Yeah. I really, it's funny, whenever there's a Western play on the television set, and I'll sometimes get hooked and watch it, especially if it's on Turner Classic Movies, but I really need to expand my Westerns vocabulary, because most of the Westerns I've seen, these have been the Italian Westerns that Gabe has introduced me to. My favorite of them being My Name is Nobody, which is a great mix of the serious spaghetti Western, but also the more comical ones that were coming towards the end of that cycle. And it's also kind of a neat little meta epilogue to the whole Western genre itself. That's a really good movie. My Name is Nobody. I would recommend that immensely. But other than that, sadly, most of the Westerns I like are in the weird Western genre. Valley of Gwangi, Westworld, The Beast of
Valley of Gwangi, the best Western movie.
Yeah, I like I'm a weird kind of outlier with the Man with No Name trilogy, the Clint Eastwood Sergio Leone movies. Like I definitely admire and love, Fistful of Dollars and The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, as much as anybody else. But one nobody ever talks about for a few dollars more, and that's actually my favorite. It's the one that nobody ever talks. It's the second one, I think. No one, I never hear any. I don't see any. I don't see any pretentious video essays on it anywhere. I don't see any big articles on for a few dollars more. But I really love it. I don't know what the deal is. Why nobody looks at it the same way.
I think people just don't think the title's badass enough.
Yeah, it's probably it. Yeah. It can't really stand on its own. For a few dollars more.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it a lot.
Let's see, we got ourselves our first super chat of the evening. We have Bermakian Productions, a loyal fan of the podcast. He's of the streams. He says, "I'm late to the party, so here's $5. Thank you very much, dude. And 8 episodes in my podcast, I found out that doing it is not easy, but I managed. That's fantastic, man." Earlier, S452 says, "This is obscure, but have you guys heard of the BBC War of the Worlds miniseries for this fall? As a fan of the book and musical, I'm glad to finally get a big budget version in the Victoria era settings. I have not heard about this, but I am certainly fascinated as I love the novel itself, and I'm a huge H.G. Wells fan."
Yeah, I love War of the Worlds, and this is news to me, so I'm utterly excited. But S452, I am also an even bigger fan of the musical, so thumbs up for me to you, my friend. And, oh God, there's a rock musical from Jeff Wayne's based on War of the Worlds, and it is just fantastic. It's like, I highly recommend it to anybody who loves 70s rock with like a mixture of like various genres and all that. And it's actually it stays rather true to the original story, except it's a rock opera.
It's a rock opera.
I've always wanted to do a sequel to the Orson Welles War of the Worlds radio play, but instead doing an impression of an older, basically a parody of Orson Welles' Frozen Pea Little Tantrum, but instead it's him trying to tell the story of the next World War of the Worlds to World War II of the Worlds, where it's him narrating it, but he just gets angrier and angrier and more confused as the news comes in of the alien invasion. So maybe one day, if I get the rights to Orson Welles.
Well, it's public domain. You can do it anyways.
Orson Welles is not public domain, Raph. I can't.
War of the Worlds.
Just get Maurice LaMarche to do it.
There you go. Yeah.
Sean,
and then it's just all the bloopers of Maurice LaMarche yelling at Brayton. That's like, there's no money for this crap. I was the brain.
And Sean Berry gives another super chat. "Thanks for answering my questions. You guys rock." Thank you, Sean. Let's see. So going on to Jordan Fazan's question. He has quite a lot of them here, so let's try to go through them as quickly as possible. "Are you familiar with the indie film Zella, Monster Martial Law?" Yes, I have, and it's a very good fan film. I'm not so much a fan of the very skinny, form-fitting monster designs, but the suits work, and they get the job done. And the designs are pretty interesting.
Yeah, I like the movie, although I think it's a little too kind of grim dark for my taste. But I actually like the kind of thin monsters because it reminds me of the style they were going with Godzilla Final Wars,
That's
where there was
thing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that aesthetic.
Yeah, but it does add to some really good monster fight scenes, and I wish they would just find like a better medium between the kind of like Power Ranger style tokusatsu hero monsters and the full on kaiju creatures we see in proper kaiju films. When
you mention the grim dark stuff, I noticed that this is a similar ending to like Negadon Monster of Mars and Kaiju Eiga G, Daikaiju Eiga G. Both of them have similar endings where the main character ends up going on a self-sacrificial, a sacrificial or redemptive arc of them going up against a monster in a robot or cyborg suit.
Yeah, but here it feels less redemptive than it's just, oops, the thing exploded, everyone's dead. So
okay. Next, what are your thoughts on
spoilers?
What are your thoughts on the not like they can find it on YouTube, or can they? Maybe it is, I don't know.
Actually, yeah, you can easily find Zilla Monster Martial Law on YouTube. So, whatever.
What
All
ex-
these monsters sound the same.
What are your thoughts on the Godzilla Legends comic anthology series? In case you're wondering, no, I haven't watched the review. You did. Then do it. Just do it. No, it's good. It's good. It's not perfect. Issue 1 was great. Issue 2, looks like we spoiled it for Jordan. Let's see.
Uh-oh.
So issue 1 is great. Issue 2, I think that's the Rodan one. It's awful. Issue 3 is my favorite one because it's got a great story for it's a Titanosaurus story, and it's a great story on top of that. Too bad we're never gonna get a continuation of it. Issue 4 is good. It's decent, and issue 5 is also decent. So we got like 3 decent stories, 1 great story, and 1 awful story. So it's a mixed bag, but overall it's a solid experiment worth checking out.
Yes.
Let's see. Next question: what Gundam shows, movies, or OVAs have you seen, and what are your thoughts on them? Oh boy, let me just get a quick list here. Gundam series. Let's try and bring up the Wikipedia article here just to give me them in order. Let's see, come on. Oh, here we go. Okay, Mobile Suit Gundam, perfect. I have a review coming up very soon. Zeta Gundam, love it. Double Zeta Gundam, mixed bag. First half sucks, second half is awesome. Char's Counterattack, it's a beautiful movie. War in the Pocket, beautiful. F91, it's very messy. 0083, Stardust Memory, very good. Victory Gundam, haven't finished it, but I love what I've seen so far, and it's very depressing. G Gundam, my favorite fucking anime of all time. Gundam Wing, a little sloppy, but still overall solid show. The 8th MS Team, great show. Love its sort of like Romeo and Juliet with robot war drama stuff. Gundam X,
I agree.
It's a solid show, but I wish it went more with its post-apocalyptic setting, because once it goes into space, then it loses that and starts to look like any other Gundam show at that point. Endless Waltz, it's okay. Turn A Gundam, beautiful show, love it. It's like Ghibli if Miyazaki made a Gundam show. G Savior, fucking awful, it's trash! Don't bother with it. Superior Defender Gundam Force, the SD Gundam Force. Very wonky, but it gets better in Season 2. Let's see.
Doozy bots.
Trash!
Oh.
Okay, it's very campy trash. It's the best kind of trash. Gundam 00, very good series, great modernized take on Gundam. Gundam Unicorn, beautiful, love it, love every single moment of it. Let's see. Build Fighters, it's a loving tribute to the Gundam fan base. Build Fighters Try. It's okay, but it just rehashes a lot of the same story beats from Gundam Build Fighters, which already repeated a lot of story beats from every other tournament-based action shonen anime. But with Build Fighter, the first Build Fighters, it was fresh, it was cool. Build Fighters Try, it felt tired and played out. Iron-Blooded Orphans, love it. It's tragic, it's loving, it's beautiful, it makes you fall in love with these characters only to rip your heart out at the same time, much like with Zeta Gundam. Let's see. And I think that is it. Those are all the Gundam shit I have seen personally. Let's see. Jordan says, I had my computer on mute, so don't worry, thank God. But yeah, still, go see Zella Monster Martial Law. Jordan says, do Quick Like Ultraman, which I did. Burmakian Productions, so many Gundams! Jordan says, Unicorn is overrated in my opinion. That is, I respectfully acknowledge your opinion. Let's see.
Activate the missiles, George's house. The Gundam missiles.
No. It's fucking the what do you call it? GP02 from Gundam from Stardust Memory. I almost said Stardust Crusaders. From Stardust Memory, it's the one with the giant cannon that shoots a nuke at him.
Oh my goodness. And Jordan's like, Andres, why? And you're like, I never betrayed anyone.
Let's see. And Jordan says, I love Build Fighters because I was watching it at the time when I needed it because I was depressed at the time. It's a very loving, heartwarming show. It's a show by Gundam fans it's a show about Gundam fans by Gundam fans for Gundam fans. Let's see. Question: Have you played the PS4 Godzilla game? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I love it despite its major flaws. Even the generators and hearing Asuna from Sword Art Online, that's the woman telling you to destroy said generators. Watch my review that I made with Gorzard. You'll find out. Overall, I think it sucks. It's okay in like short 30-minute bursts. Anything longer than 30 minutes of playing it, then it will be really, really boring. It's very, very repetitive, very boring, super unbalanced. It's very buggy. It's very, very cheap and rushed, but it's okay in short bursts. Like Rampage, it's a repetitive game, but it's okay in short bursts to play through.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie Rampage.
No. The Rampage game. Because all the games,
the movie
it's just
Rampage,
the same thing over and over again. In fact, I would say Rampage had more solid gameplay than Godzilla for PS4. Godzilla PS4 didn't really feel wonky, with Rampage as a straightforward side-scrolling, crawling up buildings and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Next question. Do you know what the worst kind of Godzilla fanfic? For me, it's the ones where he turns human for no reason. Even as a fanfic author myself, I find this insulting. I don't read Godzilla fanfic outside of like Matt Frank's Godzilla Neo back in the day. So I wouldn't know. I guess fanfics for me are stuff... I guess just fan fiction in general. I'm not a fan of that, although I kind of have an idea for a Godzilla vs. Gundam fan fiction, but that's just me wanting to see both franchises cross over. But the kind of fan fiction I think for me is like any kind where it's like... I guess the Mary Sue is sort of one where this is my own original kaiju, it's 10 times stronger than Godzilla, and he kicks his ass, and I don't know, stuff like that's kind of disrespectful, I think. Andrew Battaglia says, still rusty on Gundam, but Unicorn is a beautiful series. I would highly recommend it. As for the others, they would need to wait in line after Kamen Rider series. Let's see. Kamen Rider.
See what I mean? That's
how the New Yorkers say it up there. It's like Kamen Rider. You like.
Anyways,
so
back
much.
to the Godzilla
yes,
question.
Let's see. Do you guys read any bad Godzilla fan fiction?
Yes.
Okay.
I was the beta reader for one.
Okay. What makes a bad Godzilla fanfic in your opinion? What's the worst kind of Godzilla fan fiction?
Pretty much just like I said earlier, my problem with a lot of overwrought fan fiction, where it's just people who are fans of something, and it's nice to be a fan of something, but actually try and tell a story instead of just something superficial, long-winded, and pretentious. The thing you said about people coming up with new kaijus just so they could kick Godzilla's ass because he's super duper powerful. Yeah, I don't know. I like actual focus on the fiction part more than the fan part in a fan fiction. Maybe if you're gonna devote your time to do a fan thing, actually, try and make it stand up on its own as a thing. Don't if you want it to be viewed by people, if it's for you and you like something and you just want to create this something just for you to say, hey, I like this thing, so I made something that has to do with it. That's fine. But if you want it to be consumed by other people and read by other people, try to actually make it interesting to read rather than just sort of just bullshit fanny stuff. I don't know. I haven't read enough fan fiction to I haven't read enough fan fiction as I have seen fan films to really form an opinion on good versus bad, but try to make it stand on its own as a piece of fiction rather than just fan crap.
And you,
I have a dark confession. I used to read a lot of fan fiction back when I was a teenager, but it's like it does end up being the same. Where yes, it's either a Mary Sue character who's so powerful that Godzilla is either defeated or can barely defeat them, or it's a fan fiction made with flippancy and hatred, where it's a story about somebody Godzilla versus something I don't like, and it's just like 200 pages of Godzilla killing off these characters from a franchise nobody from a franchise this particular author doesn't like.
What about the adorable Godzilla Mothra / fiction, Raph?
No, Brayton, you're sick.
Isn't that cute and adorable?
Oh my god, it's like I already read your Baragon Gigan romance fix. I don't need to see any more of this crap, man. You're weird. You and your Miss Blues and your big buxom alien monster girls. What's with you, Brayton? You're weird. Anyways, projecting aside, but I really can't stand like. And first off, they're just poorly written. That alone, just like it's hard to enjoy any written fiction when you're just seeing typos left and right. It's like no, there should be love there. So, but yeah, I really can't stand it when it's just a fan fiction where it's just somebody's excuse to kill off a bunch of characters they don't like, and it just comes off as insulting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a fan fiction, focus on the fiction part. Actually, respect what you're a fan of, rather than just letting yourself. Oh, I'm a fan, so I can do no wrong. That's the mentality I hate about people who like insist directors have to be a uber fan of something, otherwise it's gonna suck. No, they should be a director first. They should be a storyteller first, rather than just being blinded by their fandom and producing something not that interesting.
Yeah, if you're an extreme fan, you do run the risk of overindulgence. You just have to see J.J. Abrams projecting Star Wars onto Star Trek.
I guess King of the Monsters to an extent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to an extent. But it could have been a lot worse. And not only that, but getting back to like fan fiction where it's just somebody being flippant towards every character but their favorites. You just have to open up any Godzilla fan film you see on YouTube, and it's always, oh, here's Gamera, gets killed in less than a second it's introduced, And I like Godzilla and Gamera equally. I don't want to see them instantly kill each other. I want to see them go on an adventure.
But death battle, it's all about who's stronger, who's the strongest one.
Okay,
they're gonna fight in my backyard, Raph.
Who can beat who in a fight, man?
In Death Battle's
there has to be a definitive winner.
Shut up. In Death Battle's defense, at least that gave us a proper fight. But no, there are tons of fan films where just Gamera gets killed with like a single punch from Godzilla. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? It's like, what a waste of anything. So it's like, I'm like, I don't know what comedy movie it is, but when it comes to giant monster mashups, I'm like the old guy, like the old geezer at a boxing match. It's like, I don't care who wins. I just want a good fight.
Okay, let's see. Earlier, Jordan says Turn A Gundam is beautiful from what I've seen. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sean Berry says the worst Godzilla fan fiction is the one that will never see the light of day. Nyash. S452 says, speaking of War of the Worlds, there have been a few other audio dramas that got released in the past 2 years. He talks about Sherwood Sounds, The Coming of the Martians is a great production to look at. Bermakian says, hey, I'm starting to write fan fictions, but there will be no original monsters, just original human characters. #fiction matters. DeMichael Jackson says, how to do Godzilla fan fiction. Keep Ayn Rand philosophy out of it. Another jab at a certain individual. DeMichael Jackson said the fan fiction where they make Baggin super powerful when he really isn't based on the abilities he has. Actually, I would love to see that. Make the weakest character the best character.
The giant condor?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's
bring back the condor.
Let's do a trilogy of giant condor movies where it just kills everybody.
We need a condor and giant octopus team up movie where they just wipe out the entire Godzilla roster.
Let's see. Godzilla and Mothra fiction needs to die an agonizing death. The more you try to destroy it, the stronger it becomes, Cody.
Yeah, Brayton, stop with your sick sexual fan fiction.
Jordan says, I think the worst offender of this I've seen are the Ruby hate fanfics. I'm not a fan of Ruby, but this one fanfic I read has the characters calling out the problems of the show. Sean Berry says, Battle Royale, man. GB Ryle, man.
That's kind of that's kind of the epitome of horrible fan fiction, fan film, in my opinion, is when it takes the fan thing, it takes that to the extreme of I'm a fan, so I can do no wrong. You can do very wrong.
Hey guys, I'm looking in the dictionary under word self-indulgence. There's a poster for Battle Royale.
I just want to see Godzilla fight my character that I've made. I want to see Godzilla and G Fantas fight side by side in my movie.
All right, next
Zombie Kong. Zombie.
Next, what do you think? Why do you think Gundam Age failed? I don't know. I remember I saw a video that claimed that the series looked too childish, or maybe the Gundams and mobile suits didn't look appealing enough. I don't know. I know there was another video that tried to counter to this as saying that there's another reason as to why it failed, but I forgot what it was, and I forgot who what the channel was that talked about that gave that rebuttal. But I'm not sure at the moment because I haven't seen the series for myself. I don't know why, but I could look into it. Another question, does anyone remember Pilot Candidates? To kind of refresh your memory, it was a mecha anime that aired on Adult Swim back in the early 2000s, but lasted only 12 episodes, leaving many of its major plot points unresolved. I saw Bennett the Sage's video of it when he had his very first Toonami month videos, but I haven't seen it at all. So you clearly seen it.
Yeah, I watched it because back then I was when I was an older teenager, I was one of those idiots who thought anime can do no wrong. Let me check this out. Oh God, what? Pilot Candidate is one of those anime series that has a huge high concept. Basically a space camp for kids learning to pilot giant robots for the future. Mm-hmm. But it's obvious that the high concept plot doesn't matter. It's just an excuse for characters just to talk to each other in low res animation. And not only that, but again, everyone's absolutely right. They ended the story before anything could be resolved. But here's the thing. It's one of those anime series where, this is a post-apocalyptic world where demons are everywhere and humans with psychic abilities. And then 14 episodes of everyone it's the beach episode 14 times in a row. And it's in the second to last episode, it's weren't we supposed to be fighting somebody? Oh, yeah. So it's one of those animes that just seems like a waste of time, and they probably just made up this bizarre world in the first episode, and then just all right, now what? Just characters talk over food or something. I don't know. So that it just felt like a waste of space. That's what Pilot Candidate felt to me. So, and you could really see it's a series that's built more on anime cliches than it is to actually build an actual story. The fact that they had a girl in there with cat ears and it's never explained even in the slightest, really shows the kind of ill thinking that this and a lot of other anime series suffer from. It's they just throw everything at a board, make us use it as the background basis for the world, and then you get a poorly written, boring, uneventful anime series where the bad guys truly don't matter because the characters are talking about their feelings or something. I know that appeals to a lot of regular folks on an emotional basis, but as somebody who enjoys science fiction adventure, as somebody who enjoys story progression, that just doesn't.
When are they gonna get to the fireworks factory?
Exactly. I know that was meant as a joke, but that's practically every television show I hate, where it takes 9 seasons to get from point A to point A and 3/4, and that's a problem with a lot of sitcoms, a problem with a lot of American drama shows. And I know the main reason for it is you got to milk these things till they're no longer milkable, and hence every episode is a bottleneck. Every episode, Glee is a perfect example of this, and Brayton can back me up.
Oh, don't you pretend like you've been in the foxhole, Raph, like I've been in the foxhole.
Oh, I've seen enough
episodes. I've sat through the entire series in one bingeable Netflix session. I've seen things you wouldn't believe, Raph.
Yeah. No, I've seen enough episodes of Glee to know exactly what you're talking about, where the characters have a major revelation that should change their relationship a little more or progress it further, and in the next episode we're back to square one. Yeah. It's like Big Bang.
I heard one of the best criticisms of Glee that I've heard somewhere on the internet is someone said Glee has, because it was written by a group of people, the show. Glee has a roster of 4 really great writers. Now, only if you could get them all in the same room at the same time to come up with a story. God.
Yeah, that's exactly the same problem with a lot of modern day comic books, especially over at DC, where it's none of whatever. Keep going, Brayton.
No, yeah, that's my little Glee rant of just it's once you get to a character development and you have an arc for somebody, you realize, it's a show and people really like this character this certain way, so we have to double down on it and pretend that didn't happen. So when we come back next season, it's just a restart, back to normal.
Oh God, that's what pissed off me about shows like Lost. It's finally we're gonna move further in the story and find out more about the mystery. Oops, they blew up the very thing that. It's what is it? It's okay, guys, we got the submarine, it's working. Next season we're gonna take the submarine, get off the island, and find out what's going on. And then then the final episode's why did you blow up the submarine? Because guys, it's a submarine. We would have been out in the water. We got to stay on the island. You're right. Submarines are evil. And then repeat the same season another time. So,
You ever been on a submarine, Raph?
I don't want to talk about it.
They're fucking evil. They should be destroyed. Anyway, the next question.
Damn you,
Okay.
Brayton! We're gonna be stuck on this island forever.
Am I the only one who finds it weird watching the Gridman anime dubbed with the exact same lines as the sub version? Yes. No, I'm just kidding. I never watched the dub, but I don't think that's weird. In fact, I find it to be an accomplishment because they're able to make those words fit the mouth flaps within their limited span of time. Okay. So next is, am I the only one who finds it insulting that people who ship Rika and Kane from Gridman are saying you don't get Gridman is you don't think these two are... Okay, so like I guess if there are people who ship the two girl characters and think they're gay, and if you don't think they're gay, then you don't get Gridman on a deeper level. I don't care, man. I'm sorry. Am I the only one who finds it insulting? I don't know. I don't care. Let those people believe what they want to interpret the show however they want to interpret it, and you interpret it. You do you, they do them, I do me. Who cares?
Stop getting your panties in a bunch.
Girls for crying out loud.
They interpret it differently from you, and if they insult you for not interpreting it the same way as them, who cares? You know, if they cannot accept your interpretation of the series, or they cannot accept anyone else's opinion of the series, who cares? Mm-hmm. Question: have you seen any of Shotaro Ishinomori's other anime shows such as Cyborg 009, mainly the 2001 series, Genma Wars 0091, and Skullman? I've only seen Kikaider the animation, Kikaider 01, and I think there was another special after Kikaider 01, but I've seen all the Kikaider anime, and I absolutely love it. My favorite stuff. Rap, you can burn in hell because I know what you're gonna fucking say. You and Bennett the Sage can burn in hell for all I care. Your opinions are the only ones I don't respect.
Yeah, I like how like a couple seconds ago Andre's just being all diplomatic saying, you know, if someone doesn't interpret this show your way, you know, it's their loss, man. And then 5 seconds later, burn in hell, Raph, you son of a bitch.
You hypocritical, no! Okay, so I'll just make this quick. I don't like the Kikaider
I'm okay. All serious aside, I respectfully disagree.
Okay, you have every right to disagree. I can see why you enjoy those shows. For me, they're too portentous, which is like pretentious but grimdark at the same time.
So Jordan, he brought up the third one. It was Kikaider the animation, Kikaider 01, and Kikaider versus Inazuman.
Yeah, which never got released in America, to the best of my knowledge. So But no, I don't like the Kikaider animes because they're too portentous, like ridiculously so. And I know what's his name? Ishimori.
Yeah.
Shotaro. He would write some really dark, terrible stuff in his manga and all that. But I think I'm a big fan of the Cyborg 009 series from 2001 because that was an excellent translation of his original manga works. Like, there's some dark, tragic stuff going on, but there's also still adventure and wacky sci-fi plots going on at the same time. And I think that's a perfect mix of the two, of the lightheartedness and the darkness at the same time, which I think is more true to Ishimori's original manga.
Yeah, he comes over for cookouts sometimes. He's my neighbor.
Yeah,
my neighbor Shotaro.
Oh, Brayton, you're gonna find this hilarious. Guess who created Brain 17, the original Japanese series that movie was based on? The same man.
Stephen King on crack? Who? I don't know.
No. Stephen King on crack is it. Okay, no.
Oh, okay. That's cocaine, Raph.
Yeah, Ishimori. Yeah, he created Daitetsuzen 17, which went on to become Brain 17. But no, I am a huge fan of the Cyborg 009 series from 2001, and I really want to get the full DVD set of that before it's out of print. So from Discotech Media.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Next, what was it? Am I the only one who finds... No, I just read that one, damn it. Let's see. Oh, I think that's it. We've reached the end of Jordan's questions, unless Jordan says, no, we didn't. But at the time, I believe we are there. And, yeah, again, it's okay to have a different opinion, as long as you respect them. But if you don't respect other people's opinions, those are probably opinions not worth respecting either. I don't know. Wouldn't you say that, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go. That's the lesson of today, ladies and gentlemen. And Barakian Productions, he had a question. Thoughts on Full Metal Panic and FMP? Uh, I've
Oh no, it's supposed to be FOMO foo foo foo, you jerk.
I have not watched Full Metal Panic at all. I've heard about it. I understand it's about a dude who pilots a mech who goes to high school to be a bodyguard to this one blue-haired girl. Um, I've
Wow.
not seen it, but it looks interesting, and I'll probably see it. But right now, there are three shows that I really want to get into right now. I finally started watching Yu Yu Hakusho last night. I'm 5 episodes in. I'm super into it already. I cannot see why it's a classic. I really want to get into City Hunter, which thankfully Titan Goji is helping me with. And I want to get into Pat Labor, specifically the OVA, since it's shorter.
Oh
So-
yeah, you'll love Pat Labor. That's oh man, I love the Pat Labor franchise. You definitely need to deep jump in the deep end and enjoy those police robots.
So those are the 3 shows I really want to get into like right now. So I'm going to be focusing on, since I have a 5-day vacation ahead of me, starting today. I'll be probably spending a lot of time when I'm not working on the Gundam review and getting my stuff, working on the comic and the editing stuff. I will definitely check out Yu Yu Hakusho, City Hunter, and Pat Labor. I think there was a 4th show. There's a lot of stuff I want to get into, but those are like the 3 biggest franchises I really want to start getting into now. But yeah, so it looks like we're at the end of our questions, and since there's no questions in the other ones, thoughts on Gurren Lagann, my second favorite anime of all time, to Michael Jackson Helm. I fucking love Gurren Lagann and everything it stands for. I love it so much, and it's right up there. It's like probably my top 5 list would probably be like G Gundam, then Gurren Lagann, then maybe Giant Robo, and the Big O.
The animation?
The animation. The Big O.
Yes.
Number 5, I'm not sure what I would put at number 5, but I'll probably put the original Gundam, because I just love it. I just think it's a super iconic, super rewatchable, super awesome show. Oh, now I remember the other show I want to watch. I want to watch Dan Cougar, which is another giant robot show. I love it just because... Not love it. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to get into it just because I love the design of that robot, and I love the idea that it's like a triple changing robot army that combines to make a bigger robot. So it's like you got 5 robots that each have a vehicle mode, an animal mode, and a humanoid mode, and then they can combine into a big giant humanoid robot.
So the secret word for tonight's episode is robots.
Robots. You know what, number 5?
Fusey bots.
Maybe I would replace number 5 with Dragon Ball Z, just because again it's a super iconic show from my childhood. My childhoods. Let's see. Full Metal Alchemist is my favorite anime of all time. Fantastic, Jordan. Sean Berry says, I don't watch anime, I love people. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on another episode of Audio Synchronicity Live. Just to let everyone know, you can, if you're still interested, you can get my comic on Amazon in both Kindle and Comixology formats. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. Let's see, let me just put it up one more time. Want to celebrate, yeah, oh yeah, alright, start the dancing. One more time, I'm gonna celebrate. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Oh no, here
that's
comes
another one.
evil alien Beethoven.
I need to watch Interstellar 5555.
Oh, it's great. I love that movie.
Yeah. Last night. No. Okay. So yeah, there it is right there. Primal Warrior Draco Azul. It's my comic. It's only $3 on Amazon for the digital version. If you buy the digital version, you'll get it. You'll find access to on Kindle and Comixology at the same time, or you can buy both. You can buy the Comixology version separately on the Comixology website. So both of them require a Kindle app and a Comixology app. Both are free, by the way, for phones, PC, tablets, pretty much anything that has access to apps. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Please support my comic. If you do so, please let me know what you think about it. Leave a rating on Goodreads or on Amazon or anywhere else. So again, thank you very much, everybody, for your love and support. Hopefully you'll stick around for what is to come, both on YouTube and outside of YouTube. Follow the Primal Warrior Draco Azul Facebook page. I'll also be posting my other works that I've worked on as an editor or writer on that page as well. And until then, everybody, I have been Andres Perez, aka Kaiju Noir. My host has been...
I'm Brayton Connor.
And our our guest has been
The one and only Inshoma, you lucky, lucky people, you.
And until next time, everybody, take care. Thanks for joining us. And until then, your audio has been synchronized. Take care, everybody.
Area 51 was an inside job!
Oh my god!
Clap alien cheeks! Clap